Hello and welcome back to yet another day here of House Rivalries Nations Division. This is day 2, and we have some matches coming up today. My name is Delta, and with me I got Dala Bills.
Hello. Oh,
So
Delta, we got some good ones today for the
yeah,
folks.
we
This is
got
going to
some
be
good ones. Yeah, me and Dala Bills will do the first set, and then we will have Faluar and Nekra following up for the next set. But first one out. It's Stockholm versus Paris, and it's going to be great to see because these have brought some spicy tech cards and some spicy decks in general.
Oh yeah, we were talking just before we went live about some of the differences between the two quest shamans. Just real quick, the bands and deck brings. Paris has their control warrior band, in which there was a spicy Deathwing, but we're not going to see it. Leaving them with their priest, quest shaman, and quest druid. And then from Stockholm, their combo priest, Bon Somni priest, has been banned, leaving their control warrior, quest shaman, and singleton hunter. So some of the tech differences between the two quest shamans, we were talking about a little bit, very interesting. They're actually, they being Stockholm. Stockholm is bringing 2 copies of Hagatha's scheme instead of any copies of former champ. What do you make of that?
Well, it's a hedge versus more aggressive deck. This is LHS, so you want your decks to be able to sweep, and you also want them to hedge against different ones. And winning the first matchup is so important. And if they want to queue Shaman first, so having this Haggadah scheme to basically battle against any aggressive lineup would be good, so they can actually sweep the other matchups. And I think with this play, they also say that we have enough value to actually win the warrior matchup and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. And jumping into the first game, it looks like it's going to be Paris on their quest shaman, which is playing both copies of former champ and 0 copies of Hagatha scheme against what looks to be the singleton hunter out of the Stockholm Silverhands. We were also talking a little bit about the tech choices. It's obviously the nature of Singleton Hunter. You might also hear it referred to as Reno Hunter or Highlander Hunter. They're just playing a single copy of every single card because Hunter has 2 big payoffs. Bran the Dino Tamer lets you summon King Crush on 7 if you have no copies in your deck. And then, of course, Zephyrus the Great allows you to pick the perfect card as long as you have no duplicates. But there's some interesting tech changes in this one also you were talking about.
Yeah, because they have foregone going with the heavy secret package, which is like Subject 9, so they gone a little bit lighter on the secrets, but instead have stuff like Witch's Cauldron, Swarm of Locust, Azalina, Soul Thief, to basically have a more heavy game versus the more control decks like a Control Warrior, for instance. So
yeah, I'm interested to see if it can actually generate enough value because Control Shaman has so much value between all of the double battle cry effects, Barista Lynchin, the ability to bounce Evil Cable Rat, Sludge Slurpers, Evil Totem, Shutter Walk at the very end, Evolving Giggling Inventors. This list, just like you were saying with the like Swarm of Locusts, Witch's Cauldron and everything, maybe their Zul'jin could be a Shutterwalk-esque in value generation if they play the cards right.
Yeah, and I like Highlander Hunter when it's built like normally. I know because I play a lot of Highlander Hunter is a bit favored versus Shaman because you can basically seize tempo while they're trying to build their decks and just draw cards, and then if they don't hit their card draws or card generations, you just have so much value in your hand and then just run away with the game basically. And you can also go super aggressive. Like we see here, just by placing a freezing trap, just protecting this 1/1 and then playing into Animal Companion next turn and having all this value generation going forward.
Yeah, we see Quest Girl, Best Girl. She comes on down, draws a card. And actually, I mean, obviously, a freezing trap is, just like you were saying, going to be a major tempo penalty. Questing Explorer is probably one of those cards you don't mind eventually playing twice if you can get it played again before the quest is complete. We're going to go ahead and set off the freezing trap, and it looks like Paris is considering just a tempo mind control tech to try to get on this board.
Yeah, getting on the board is important now, and like one of the things also with this Highlander Hunter is because of the flexibility of Zephyrus the Great. Like an early Sludge Slurper, for instance, can really seal the deal if you have Zephyrus, because Zephyrus can just get a Hungry Crab. Right. And also keeping it for the right moment, because you know this deck has the possibility to go wide, and you can just find wide removal, which is one of the weaknesses of Hunter in general. So it can be used as a value tool, a board clear tool, or just a tempo tool. It's a huge addition to this matchup.
Oh yeah, Zephyrus is somehow playing every classic and basic tech card if you can get the board in a particular way. Because obviously, or I guess for those who have not had the opportunity to play Zephyrus, first of all, it's super fun. Second of all, Zephyrus can only see the board if there are secrets, not what they are, and how much mana everybody has. So, like in this particular instance, we see 4 enemies on the other side of the board. Zephyrus should offer, if you coin and then Zephyrus, it'll offer Mind Control tech, as well as Hungry Crab, like you were saying, to deal with the Sludge Slurper. And then maybe, I don't know what the third offer would be. Maybe a
Shadow Word Pain or something for the.
Oh yeah, perhaps a Shadow Word Pain. So we're gonna see coin.
Stockholm, yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh, for sure.
Stockholm going with the baited arrow here instead, though. Getting that 5/5. It's such a good card to also have into the pool. Trading and getting a Hunter's Pack, and that means you now have your second Hunter's Pack. And Hunter's Pack can generate a lot of value for Sul'jin if your hand is empty and just top deck Sul'jin. So.
Yeah, Hunter's Pack has been one of those cards I've been surprised to see be. It makes this deck feel a bit more consistent because it can. Sometimes you're missing an answer that you need because of the nature of the deck, right? You only have one of everything. Hunter's Pack lets you sort of cheat that, and you end up maybe with a, because it gives you a beast and a secret and a weapon. So you end up with a Gladiator's Longbow, something that doesn't make the core of the list, but all of a sudden being able to deal 5 to the board just handy and not take that additional face damage. Coming on over to Stockholm, we see a Ziliax on 5. That's just Ziliax is one of those cards. If it's green, it's turn 5. There's an enemy board. You need a pretty good reason not to.
Yeah, and it usually sets up so you can just push this 5 damage phase here. And the quest is finished for the Shaman though, and they have a lot of opportunities now to actually go forward with this Wasp and everything, being able to clear off a lot because that Black is stuck one turn.
Yeah, the weaponized Wasp is actually going to be able to just 1-for-1 this Tyrannosaurus Rex. By virtue of the hero power, doubling all battle cries. And like you're saying, the Stockholm opted to clear the Questing Explorer. Makes sense. It was a 2/3. The Lackey's only a 1/1, but that enabled that play we just saw. The Wasp was active. And so that was I would assume a calculated decision, Stockholm trying to decide, would we rather...
They knew there were Lackeys in hand, so they knew there were possibilities to actually do it anyways. So... let's just get that 5 damage push to face, I guess.
Oh, for sure.
So, considering here, though, hovering over to Unleash the Beast, which is always a good card that it was always get value, or maybe playing this Zephyrs for stuff like a Swipe that would just clear the board right this moment if they want to. But the Swipe is also a really good card to have in the pool for Sul'jin, because even though it's targeted, it's always targeted enemies. So you might not hit what you want, but you at least hit something. You don't hit yourself. That's
right. There's no kill command your own face problems with Swipe.
Yeah.
It just feels, that's just one of those feels bad. Like, oh, come on, Sul'jin, don't kill command your own face. All right. Life Drinker on the far left, Mutate on the far right, and we're gonna go ahead and see a hero power. And there's all of these cards. The hero power works so well with cheap cards with battle cries, right? So we're gonna see the double Novice Engineer draw, potentially, potential double evolve. All of these battle cries are kind of good enough on their own, but once you get to activate all of them twice, they become, dare I say, silly.
Yeah, they go from okay to insane, basically.
2 mana, 1/1, draw 2 cards, becomes a 4/4 with spell power.
Sounds good.
1 mana, deal 4, and you still get a 1/1. That's like a Soulfire. You don't have to discard a card, and you get a 1/1. Ridiculous. Coming across to the Hunter, we see Ursatron come into the hand. Now, we were talking a little bit about the mech package that's in this list. Ursatron can only draw Snip, Snap, and Ziliax, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Ziliax is already drawn, so it's only for the Snip, Snap in this case. But it's like, it's a 3/3 on 3, which is decent enough, and it's always almost likely to use a card. So that's why it's included, just because it's... You need some card draw in this singleton list, because you can't rely on drawing the single stuff you want. You need to get as many card draws and stuff like that as you humanly possible can.
Oh yeah.
So,
this is just sort of an awkward mana efficiency turn for Stockholm. They're going to have to hang a mana, but like you were saying, this card always gets value. This Unleash the Beast always. You never feel too bad if you're playing the card and successfully getting a trade with it. But we're starting to see, it's the board pressure coming from Paris is not super strong right now. It's just a bunch of 1/1s, but these, once you start getting double spells off Lackey, all of a sudden in the back of your mind, if you're Stockholm, you have to start thinking about, what if there's a Bloodlust? What if there's a Stormbringer? How much can we afford to ignore all of these created by effects coming from Paris?
Yeah, and seeing now, this is quite a bigger board here going in with this format champ instead. With the mutate as well, bringing it up to a full one, getting a 3/5/5 there.
Oh man,
it's pretty good. But Unleash the Hounds with this Vicious Cauldron can bring some magic.
Oh yeah. Wait, there's not a lethal opportunity here, is there? If you Unleash the Hounds and Zephyrus, can Zephyrus give you Savage Roar? Am I doing 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, it gives you Savage Roar.
Wait, how much damage would that be?
It's 6.
18. We have exactly enough mana to Unleash the Hound, Savage Roar, Zephyrus, but I don't think it's lethal damage.
Yeah, that's 18, 20. So it's 3 off.
Oh!
Such a sick combo, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you were 10 mana, you would have lethal with Bloodlust instead, but fortunately, that's not the case.
So it looks like we're going to see an Unleash the Hounds. Oh, actually, we might see a combo with both Scavenging Hyena and Witch's Cauldron this turn. Trade off one little dog there. Might not even need Zephyrus for their Bloodlust, huh?
Yeah, make a... just get everything. Oh, Plague of Murlocs. Let's see here. Here comes the...
Ancestral Healing.
Ancestral Healing is good as well.
Oh, the Wind Fury.
Double Wind Fury here. That's gonna be good with this brand that comes out later.
Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. On 9 mana, you can brand Wind Fury King Crush. That's insane.
And you can even trade and then Ancestral Healing and stuff like that as well. So you have a lot of opportunities. This double Murloc, though, is not what you were looking for.
Perplexing.
No. And so now, all of a sudden, the question is set to Paris. Would you like to trade in, your 2 big threats on board to deal with this Scavenging Hyena?
Or use this Earth Shock.
Yeah. Would you like to, use your free Earth Shock? That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, they want to overdraw as well here now. This Lightning Storm is good, though.
Oh, yeah. Double Life Drinker. Just going to go ahead and heal out of range of any potential 10 mana combos. Oh my god.
I'm also using this Youthful Brewmaster to have 6 more damage pushing next turn. It looks like this is in the bag for Paris here. Now, the Spellbreaker is not the worst thing that could happen. This Zephyrs can get... Flame Strike doesn't do anything. You need, like, Brawl would kill this board.
Yeah.
Like, you need to kill this board because you know it's 6 damage next turn. The Plague of Murlocs would most likely be give you stuff you can actually Lightning Storm.
Yeah. They also are well aware that the Life Drinker in hand means that they are effectively operating at 6.
That's a good high roll as well. Every Murloc being perfectly for Lightning Storm, and then you get like a good one for yourself.
Yeah, they still need to figure out if there's a way they can play around a potential, like, because right now the deal 2 damage Lackey, the Kobold Lackey, is lethal damage. Yeah. And actually, yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and see a...
Not the Shadow Walk could be picked up here just to really ensure it.
I guess if they want to, they could, yeah, just go ahead and rip the Shudderwalk. They also have the ability to just
get lethal.
Look for lethal.
With
all
this
right,
Cable Rat, the
2
first
damage
one.
Lackey.
They're Lackey.
Okay, swing and a miss. I guess the Faceless Lackey could potentially grab the Blue Gill Warrior.
The thing is that this sets up lethal for next turn because the Shadow Walk will always deal 6 damage.
Oh yeah, very true. All right, it seems like it might be Zephyr's time because you need to heal, somehow heal, clear the board. Actually, I guess what order do you do this in? Because it seems like you'll need to
You need to get like healing touch or holy light, I guess, depending on the mana available.
Yeah, so they'll probably get offered both of those, maybe Champion of Kings, or what's... let's see, Blizzard, Holy Fire, Healing Touch.
Like holy
Interesting.
fire puts you out of range from Shadow Walk.
Yeah, it does preclude... They were mousing over both of their copies of Wind Fury, so if they wanted to use the Healing Touch to heal themselves and then potentially try to leverage this Wind Fury, though I'm not sure that they can actually... All it would let them do is trade one of their minions.
Yeah, okay, they can use the Wind Fury on the 4/4 and just trade away.
Yeah,
or use the kill command. It's the same basically. This way it survives though, and then they heal it up, pumps it up, and in a situation where it's still alive, just they need to get something like Soul Jin now to get a little bit more health there. The weaponized wasp is also 6 more damage. They will go straight face if they want to, and combined with like Barista Lynchen, you can have set up lethal for next turn, but they just gonna rip the Shutterwalk.
Gonna go ahead and jam Shutterwalk #1.
See if they hit anything.
Oh wait, is that lethal damage? Are they gonna deal... How much Life Drinker damage are they gonna deal by the end of this Shutterwalk?
6.
Okay, so not quite enough with the...
Yeah, because they don't double it, but it's enough to set up for next turn, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna see a series of evolutions.
Yeah, 5/5 into 5/5 into 5/5. It's
wow.
Like a perfect evolution step.
And the former champ was 3/5/5s.
Yeah.
Huh. Got him. Yeah, very, very dust intensive board from both sides right now. 4 out of the 6 cards on board being legendary. All right.
This is quite the kartoffel here for Stockholm here. Going to go with
Oh hey, Gladiator's Longbow.
With the pack, but the Gladiator's Longbow, like we need to clear and not die.
Yeah, this seems like a Plague of Murloc's turn.
Like
if there's any chance of survival.
Paris got lethal for next turn. They don't but Stockholm doesn't know that, so they just need to play for as many outs that they have.
Yeah, and I guess they can actually do a lot of board cleanup here. They're just trying to decide the most optimal way to trade in their creatures.
Doesn't really matter because you need to clear everything because you're dead if they hit something.
Seems like they need to... I mean, I guess in their mind, is it more important to clear this lackey to turn off the weaponized wasp, or is it better to just take the 5 damage on board off the board?
Well, it's like 10 lackeys or something like that in hand. Because they just play Shadowwalk. It's like half the hand is lackeys or something like that.
It seems in that context, it seems like just go ahead and take the 5/5 off the board. And like most strategies based on hope, this
didn't work out.
This did not quite work out.
So Paris going up 1-0 with this Shaman going for it. Stockholm, though, has to go back into the bank and try to find out how to beat this Shaman. Which of their decks is able to do that?
Yeah, and so thinking about that, knowing that their priest is banned, their choices are Control Warrior, which I don't see any particular tech card in there to account for the Quest Shaman matchup, or just use their Quest Shaman. One that's running the 2 copies of Hagatha's Scheme and both Giggling Inventors and no former champs. So in that scenario, Delta, which way would you lean between Control Warrior or more controlling Quest Shaman?
I probably lean more towards the Control Warrior, because in general, Control Warrior, there's a lot of discussion about this on the high legend play, but at least if you're floating rank 5, like a casual, just getting that legend, Control Warrior should be in a commanding lead if they know what they're doing. And I think also in a higher level of play, of course Shaman can just high roll you, get tons of Cobalt lackeys, get everything rolling or stuff like that, or just get insane spell lackeys.
Oh yeah,
But
or the early Mogu Flesh Shaper mutate. That can sometimes be
high
game
rolling off
breaking.
of that. But that's their plan versus Control Warrior in general, just high rolling, because the Warrior in general should have like a 40-60 or 60-40 win rate.
Yeah, we
It
see
plays
some
very
of the. They're actually only playing one copy of Tomb Warden in their. I guess they must have cut one Tomb Warden to fit the Archivist Elysiana, or maybe so they're playing both Dynamatics, both Omega Devastators.
Oh, they added an Execute.
Oh, they added an Execute. Okay, interesting.
But yeah, we see them. They don't trust their ability to play this Control Warrior, or they think that the Quest Shaman from their opponent is too heavy because of the double format champ. So they're going with their Quest Shaman to try to basically beat who's the better Quest Shaman.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if these Hagatha schemes pay off. Because I guess one thing Hagatha scheme will do is clear a Quest Shaman board. Well, most likely. If it's drawn in a timely fashion and the board, they'll need to clear potentially double former champ activation, stuff like that, around turn 5, turn 6, turn 7. So if they can get their Hagatha scheme powered up to 5 damage by turn 7, or turn 6, considering that the Stockholm has the coin, maybe it'll really show up for him.
Yeah, that would be the goal, I presume here. So, now though, with the questing explorer being played by Paris, it basically means that your Kebrat will always get value traded in, and it feels horrible. Because this questing explorer is so good in the early game. Like turn 2 questing explorer is so good.
Oh yeah, and the all of a sudden, we were actually talking a little bit before the show. Like River Crocolisk that says draw a card is good. Right? It's just a 2/3 that sometimes draws you a card, advances your quest everything, and gets them ahead on the board without having to, because basically Stockholm has almost 2-for-1 themselves to try to just get to board parity, because they had to spend both the Cable Rat, which does replace itself, but then the mutate as well. Yeah.
So now though, with this low tempo play of the Bog Slusher, they have the opportunity to seize the board here now with the Weaponized Wasp though. Getting quite a decent high roll as well with the 3/2 as well from the Lackey. And now suddenly they're representing 10 damage on board, and it's not much you can do on turn 4 except Mind Control Tech.
Yeah, this Mind Control Tech is about to carry his weight, and stole 3. Nice.
Yeah, it's okay. There's the Hagatha scheme coming into hand though. So this Bog Slusher now can come down on this Lackey, and you can replay it if you want, and basically building up a board of tons of 3/3s and whatever minion that comes off the Ethereal of the Lackey.
Yeah, and there's no now that one Mind Control Tech has been played. Paris is running 2 copies of Mind Control Tech,
but it's much safer now, basically.
Much safer.
Another 3/2.
Wow, I got to hand it to Stockholm. They're very good at getting 3/2s off of their faceless lackeys.
Yeah, now still they swing the board straight back, and basically now we have 9 damage on board here now, and they also have a Barista Lynch coming up that can actually copy 2 of these minions, which is going to be huge.
Yeah, just like 2/3 draw a card is good. Obviously Bog Sloshed 4/5 is also quite good, but 5 mana draw 2, 5 mana 4/5 draw 2, that's also good. So both of these decks just doing really good stuff. Mogu Flesh Shaper is going to be able to help try to swing this board back into Paris's control, but and it goes back to what you were saying a couple of turns ago, where that Bog Slosher play was a low tempo maneuver, and I feel like they've been like clawing their way back in since that Bog Slosher turn.
Yeah, because the Bog Slosher is really great. It's a reason why it's brought to the deck, because it makes you able to replay your Battlecry minions. But when you do it in a tempo-heavy matchup like this, it can really slow down your whole way forward, because of how basically you remove 2/3 stats off the board and just place 2/3. Do you buff 0+1 or +1 +0
for 3
mana? Yeah, for 3 mana, just pass turn.
Spend all of your mana for +1 attack. That is
That's not a good.
that's
Not a
probably
good
wouldn't
card.
see. Yeah, probably wouldn't see a lot of play. So now we're coming back to Paris. They have their 4/5 in play. They saw the Barista. Go ahead and bounce back
A Bog Slasher.
an extra Bog Slosher.
Which
So-
might be quite huge going forward, because an extra Bog Slasher into the Shadow Walk can be good if you have any sort of board. It's also the fact that, well, having an extra Bog Slasher, it's always good to replicate all these battle cries that you have available.
So for 6 mana on Paris' side, there's a part of me that wants to just Sludge Slurper Barista Lynch in. Although I actually can't. I lost track of how far they've gotten on their quest for Paris.
Should be one more, I think. Two more.
2 more. Okay. So they're gonna be able to complete their quest this turn. And it looks like they're going to use this Goblin Lackey to go ahead and value trade the Questing Explorer into the Barista Lynchin.
Yeah, you don't want to see any Barista Lynchin. This is setting up a good board for the Sand Elemental, though. But
yeah, Sand Elemental is one of those cards. It's especially once the quest is complete. Although Stockholm actually doesn't even need to activate the quest for their Sandstorm Elemental to be absolutely devastating.
the question now is if they want to Bog Slusher it as well to have another board clear. And I think that's the way to go. You upgrade it with stats, and you also have another board clear going forward.
What about unlimited Bog Sloshers? Is that of any interest to you? Like attack with this Bog Slosher, and then Bog Slosher, and then Bog Slosh the Bog Slosher that you Bog Sloshered, and then Bog Slosher that Bog Slosher that you Bog Slosher. Just
Like
have an unending parade of Bog Sloshers.
they seem to like it. I'm not sure if I like it though, because like it's good to have some Bog Sloshers in the pool for Shadow Walk, but having too many, you just basically everything you summon just get gone again. But you don't have former champs, so it's not that bad. I guess you can aim it to target lackeys and evil cable rats.
Oh yeah. All right, so we're gonna see.
The issue comes
No, leave the Bog Slosher for the fans. I want to see unlimited Bog Sloshers.
The problem for Stockholm is that their hand is getting quite low when they due to that Sandstorm Elemental, they can't just play Giggling, so they need some sort of card draw in hand. ASAP would be lovely.
Yeah, that would be a pretty uninspiring turn if they end up just sloshing this Sandstorm Elemental and then playing it again. Or they could just play this one, I suppose. Actually, Hero Power...
Sandstorm Elemental...
Hero Power Sandstorm Elemental only... We'll set that to a 3/2, and obviously clear everything else. Then you could still Bog Slosh one of these if you wanted to. Definitely, I would assume that they are very motivated to only get overloaded for one if they're going to be overloaded. Just so that they can definitely Giggling Adventure next turn. And so they are trying to decide how they want these attacks to go. I assume they're also talking about, do they want to, if they Hero Power for 2, they Sandstorm Elemental for 2, and then Bog Slosher. This was going to be a long walk to get to. Where does this 2 attack go? Do you wait until after double Sandstorm Elemental to clear off what will be a remaining 3/2, or do you just send it face? They have decided face.
Face is the place.
It's the place. And I did my math wrong. 6 minus 4 is 2, not 3. So you can't Bog Slosher after doing that.
No. Even though you want to, it would be lovely to have it.
Yeah.
Get some more Sandstorm Elementals into that Shadow Walk. Just clear the board 100% of the time. Paris, though, sitting with all this card draw. A Novice Engineer, tons of more Lackey generation in the Evil Cable Rat. A Shadow Walk when they actually managed to empty their hand. They also got the Barista for filling up their hand once more if they want. And tons of good Lackeys coming in there.
Yeah, they're sitting on just a full clutch of cards right now. They're gonna go for a double evolve on this Silver Moon.
Get rid of the 6 mana.
5/5 into a 4/5. Oh, with Taunt and Divine Shield though.
Yeah, basically revive the. They played the what's it called, heroism, or something.
Oh, that's right.
+2/+2.
And Divine Shield, yeah.
Yeah. Or it was a +1/+2 though, so it was almost. Just ring the bells with Divine Shield.
Yeah, sound the bells with Divine Shield.
Yeah. Picking up the sap though. Being able to clear up one of these.
Yeah, Paris's card economy is insane right now.
This Sludge Slurper though is huge.
Oh yeah, they can. Gosh, so if you are Stockholm, do you want to hero power so that you can double your Sludge Slurper, double your Bog Slosher, or do you want to just go ahead and get down one of these Giggling Inventors? Obviously, you can't hero power Giggling Inventor, but you could next turn.
Yeah, the problem with Giggling Inventor is that they haven't played any Sandstorm Elementals, and the Sandstorm Elementals just clears it off. You can, of course, use the Haggadah scheme right now to just be able to clear off the whole board. That also leaves you the opportunity to hero power Sludge Slurper, so
yeah,
might be the way to go. Because they need some more card generation in hand. You need some more stuff to do, basically. And lackeys are really good stuff to do.
Yeah. And it's interesting. We've sort of seen the payoff of Paris taking that initial tempo hit early in the game. They got extra draws off of their Questing Explorer. And so you can just see the card economy. Obviously, Stockholm has not drawn a lot of their card draw, and several of their cards are very heavy. But Paris, they have cards for days. They can throw cards turn after turn after turn without any draw if they want to. Wow, look at that. Got all kinds of fancy stuff coming out.
That's quite a good one, though, to get some card draw with that Talnos.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good turn next turn with, like, Haggadah Scheme, and then you can do another Sludge Slurper or something like that, so it's not the worst.
Definitely not the worst. Looks like a Life Drinker coming into hand for Paris.
Yeah, Paris now is like, even if they buries the Lynching at the moment, it just basically does nothing because your hand is full. You need to get stuff off the board.
Steals the Thalnos.
Thalnos is huge.
Brutal.
Then go to the Lightning Storm. Will it high roll to 4 or will you just get 3? It's 4, so you
got the 4.
Oh,
got the 3, yeah. So
like, I would they're trading away the Volve Lackey instead of the Novice Engineer, because currently you don't really need card draw, so if you want to burst Lynch, you need to kill off the Novice Engineer before you do it. Because if you put too much draw into the Shadowwalk as well, the Shadowwalk can just kill you.
Yeah, it'll just mill all your cards and then you'll be dead. So this looks like a board threatening enough to draw this Haggadah scheme, and then still be able to hero power and Sludge Slurper. This is a huge Sludge Slurper.
Yeah, it's a 6/5. This is what makes this Bog Slosher good, though, because like basically 1 mana 6/5 that draws you 2 lackeys. I would play that every day of the week.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. This is where you need that Zephyrus, right, to give you the Hungry Crab. Just go ahead and scoop that up.
Eating the biggest Murloc in town.
Yeah. All right, hero power former champ. Let's see. The Sludge Slurper is just full of poison. Just potentially dangerous. But Hungry Crabs are immune to that, I would hope.
This Ethereal Lackey is good. The question is also if you want to. You can also do hero power Giggling Inventor now, and you've seen like both the mind control techs, and so you should be pretty safe.
Yeah, I guess if they're still concerned about Sandstorm Elemental, I guess they still haven't seen a single Sandstorm Elemental, like you're saying, out of Paris yet. I would assume is the hesitation. Because hero power Giggling Inventor is just an instant board. For one card. Yeah, that's right. Unpackage this box. There's a complete board. It only costs you 1 card. But it looks like they're gonna go digging for spells.
Yeah, to get something to deal with this board at the moment. That's Lightning Storm. Blazing Invocation, Witch's Brew, and Eureka. Eureka has low value in this. Like, Blazing Invocation could be really good though, because of how it basically stacks up. It also favors, just like every other Discovery card, it favors class cards, so stuff like Shadowwalk, and
even a Fire Elemental becomes more impactful when it's dealing 6 damage instead of only 3.
They're playing too fast here because they didn't need to do that attack up on that. They could have rushed in the spell hack instead and killed the 5/3. So with the rope there, they just made a little misplay here because they thought they didn't hit the high roll on the 5/9.
Oh yeah.
So they could actually just clear it with the Sludge Slurper, but instead they wasted that rush, just wasting 2 damage that could be used to actually clear off the 5/3 as well. But
yeah, and
would not matter much because this turn from Paris is going to just leave everything
in shambles. This is the first Sandstorm Elemental out of Paris finally engaged, and we're actually going to see a 6. The Life Drinker is interesting in the mirror match because both both teams are playing 2 copies of it. Oh, please. Yes.
Yes. Wind Fury. Go Wind Fury. Just get Stormbringer, Wind Fury Crush next turn.
We got to see Wind Fury King Crush. It's been foretold. They're going to take them potentially the more responsible choice, especially with a Stormbringer in hand already. If they can, they just need a board of Murlocs and then they can Stormbringer it. But I want to see. I'm with you. I want to see the Wind Fury King Crush off of Stormbringer. Volpera Scoundrel, another value generating card for Stockholm. They're going to be able to draw 2 spells off of this.
See what they hit. They need to hit something good.
It's like they could pick up a copy of Mutate for if they ever manage to get a Giggling Adventure down. They opt for Voltaic Burst instead, recognizing that they are very dead if they don't find a way to stay alive right now.
They need something. The mystery choice is Soul of the Murloc, and that means you have nothing to do here. The Blazing Invocation can draw you.
You need the Sandstorm Elemental. Even that, I don't know if would be alive. Double Silence.
Yeah, that does nothing.
That doesn't work.
This does nothing.
Nope.
And Paris is going up 2-0 versus Stockholm here now, and with a leading performance with this Shaman. The Shaman is just doing everything it needs to do. And
yeah.
like as we saw in the end there with this this pickup of the Stormbringer as well, they were basically saving it like, well, even if you clear this board, I can rebuild it, Soul of the Murloc it, and then I will have Stormbringer most likely anyway. So we're in the clear there. So we will see the last deck from Stockholm.
Yeah.
That has to be the Warrior, and the Warrior is well, they didn't want to queue into the Shaman with this Warrior.
Right. they already didn't like their odds.
They don't have the confidence in it, but they're going to see how it's going to pan out there. They already have a decent hand there with Frightened Flunky. That's always good to drop onto. But Paris once again with the Questing Explorer on 2.
So good. I guess if you're Paris, I wouldn't be surprised if they mulligan away the Life Drinker and the Sandstorm Elemental. It seems like you want to find some more. Sandstorm Elemental doesn't seem like it's going to be a huge. Okay, well they did mulligan it away, and then they immediately drew the other one. Classic.
Yeah, well, what do you want for Paris there is basically you want Sludge Slurpers and Cable Rats, because those generate basically 2 battle cries from 1 card. So
yeah, and they're going to be able to. I'm interested to see if this double former champ turns out to be effective against Warrior, because that seems like a big enough board that Warrior is going to have to do something. 5 health pulls all 10 mana worth of Warpath, potentially a Brawl. We see this Control Warrior playing not only the usual 2 Brawls, 2 Warpaths, also a Super Collider, also a Plague of Wrath, both Dynamatics. So there is a lot of removal. They even cut 1 Tomb Warden to fit in
an
extra removal. Oh, that extra copy of Execute, like you were talking about at the beginning of the last game.
They have the tools to basically remove any board. The thing is that they need to draw these tools, and they don't have like the card draw engines that a lot of Control Warrior have in Weapons Project Harrison. So
that's right. They're playing neither. Yeah. I was wondering how they were able to fit both Eternium Rovers, the Town Criers, all the shield slams, and all the removal, and all the taunt stuff. And you're right, they cut both copies of Weapons Project and Harrison Jones. Huh. I guess the theory, being that if all of the cards are the ones that you want, you don't have to accelerate your card draw. You'll just always have always have removal.
Stuff, yeah. Always
Yeah.
draw the good stuff.
Coming in from Paris, we're gonna go ahead and see them figure out. We're gonna see another tempo mind control tech, which makes sense. You know, it's most useful for its 3/3 in this matchup, most likely.
Yeah, it's very rarely that the warrior actually goes with a wide enough board, so it's worth it.
And actually, given the importance of tempo in this matchup, and given that Paris has shown that they're willing to, you know, play cards for less than face value for their tempo benefits, would you consider the Yeti here, the 4-mana 4/5 Omega Devastator, just as a 4/5?
The mech, yeah, the mech Yeti is good because you also have Celiax to basically bridge into it. So, and
That's
it's
right.
basically perfectly statted for this board at the moment. Thing is, I'm gonna calculate here. If they trade into the Snip Snap, they can play both the Mogu. Can't they? No, it's gonna be. This is gonna be 3 mana. Yeah, they can play both with.
Wow.
with coin if they wanted, but they'd rather want to just clear us as much as possible here.
Yeah.
We're all being picked up though, but this board looks way too good to just drop a Dynamatic on.
Yeah. I think it might be time to light the fuses here.
It's perfect.
It is.
5 health.
Yeah. It's just I'm doing the math here, and I know my subtraction math is not very good. My addition math is also not very good. But it looks like this is all coming together. Okay, we're just gonna see a Life Drinker come down. Interesting how the Mogu Flesh Shapers, since there's none of the big payoff of either Evolve Lackey or Mutate to really potentially, you know, blow this board wide open. None of those are in the hand right now for Paris, so they're not able to. They haven't completed their quest yet. I know turn 5 it's not unusual for them to not yet have their quest complete, but you really want to see that complete around 6 or 7, I would assume, right? If you're quest shaman, you don't want to go turn 8, turn 9 without your quest complete. So these Mogu Flesh Shapers, and not only is there no evolve payoff, they're not getting super cheap because the warrior's just playing, you know, 1 to 3 creatures at most every turn.
Yep. Thing is now if they want to trade or just go face, and the punish of going face here is Barista. But is that enough punish? That's the thing. Will they actually think that an extra Life Drinker in the pool for the Shaman would be detrimental to their health as a warrior, seeing as they also have Dr. Boom and everything they need here? Seems like they think it's good enough to warrant the trade though.
And I guess it does.
Explorer getting picked up here.
This is good. Just throw that down, draw another card. See if you can find a way to evolve one of these Mogu Flesh Shapers or just move further in. They might actually play Giggling Inventor for its quest completion value, which I don't know that I've ever seen before. Like they might actually have to play Giggling Inventor on 7 as a final battle cry.
Yeah, that feels horrible. Like,
Yeah,
when you need to coin out on 6 to actually finish your quest, and you haven't gotten any quest value. That's what's happened when you don't hit Cable Rats and Sludge Leopers. Like, Cable Rats and Sludge Leopers are so good in this match, or in general for Shaman, because it's basically 1/3 of the way of your quest for 1 card.
Yeah, that's right. And then once the quest is complete, just insane value. Wow, even that wasn't enough. Wait, how much are they at? 5 out of 6 now? I thought they were.
What they played? They played Questing Explorer, a Mind Control Tech, a Life Drinker. They're 4 out of 6.
Oh, they only 4? Oh, okay, that brought them to 5 out of 6.
5, yeah, that's bringing them to 5 because they played the Sandstorm Elemental as well. So there's still 1 more card left.
This is a struggle.
So here though, for Stockholm though, you can fetch the Mummy if you want with the Town Crier. You can also fit in a Hero Power if you do that. You can also just Town Crier Armadillo and just trade through these Divine Shields.
Yeah, I'm really tempted to juice this Ziliax with the Armadillo. I mean, because Ziliax is already good at 5 mana. You know, the 5 mana 3/2 is with the taunt, the Divine Shield. All of a sudden, it's a 5/4 with Rush, Divine Shield, Magnetic, Lifesteal, Taunt.
Yeah,
that's just. I guess they're still very aware that that only 1 mind control tech has come out. Although Paris hasn't been able to draw a ton of cards yet this game, so I wonder how much Stockholm really needs to respect the possibility of the second mind control tech at this point in the game.
Oh, it seems like they respect it enough to not play the mummy for tempo.
Yeah. And they didn't Armageddillo, or yeah, they avoided all lines of play that put 4 creatures in play.
Yeah, because they recognize that the only way to actually lose this is if they steal stuff like the Violent Warden there, or a Mega Devastator. A Mega Devastator, if they steal that and then bounce it, that's gonna be coming out of the Shadow Book.
Oh, that'd be insane.
Yeah, it's crazy, just killing off everything. So now that quest is completed, finally, Mogo, you have the opportunity to play the Mogos now if you want, and be able to actually trade into. Oh, this hurts.
Yeah, not getting your mutate or evolve value off of either of those flesh shapers.
Oh, with this pickup of the Tomb Warden as well, we probably see the Armageddillo coming down. Like Armageddillo into Boom into some huge taunt minions. Seems like the play here.
Oh yeah. So in the so there's it's just there's too much good stuff coming off this Armageddillo not to. I was wondering if there was ever a world where you prefer to Restless Mummy for some reason, but no, Armageddillo is just too good. This is +4/+4 to your hand, and it's a 4/7 taunt, and it protects your. This Omega Devastator's been around since turn 4. It's seen some stuff.
And there's also the fact that it basically requires an answer from the shaman, and they know that's going to be hard unless they're going to get even more buffs here going forward here. They can push 9 damage. No, they can push even more. Yeah, they're just going for the full out.
There.
That's lethal.
Wait, this is lethal damage.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
I counted the celiacs for us 3/2 extras. It's like, well, they're missing 2, so they're probably just gonna maybe push it or play Boom, but it's just, that's perfect. That's lethal. So it's much better to go for lethal here.
Yeah, well, winning the game, smoothly transitioning into winning the game. That checks out.
Always nice. Yeah.
Armageddillo, definitely one of those cards that Quest Shaman can just struggle to deal with. That 4/7, that 7 health on 6 is just. Obviously, on that game, we didn't see it come out till 7 or 8, but still, even in that late into the game, with the quest complete, Shaman just could not remove the Armageddillo.
Yeah, they didn't have any lackeys, so they don't have any direct damage from hand. They couldn't activate Weaponized Wasp, and it's also the fact that this, as you said, the Mech Yeti has been on board for like 5 turns already. Dealt like 16 damage.
Yeah, that's right. That was the solo mid Yeti. It's just.
And now we're moving on to the next game here. Paris with their priest going up against this warrior here, and this might be interesting considering how the hand looks from Paris right now.
Yeah, I just looking at the list. So they opted for so this is the combo Bwansamdi priest. I hesitate to call it combo because it's not like an OTK combo where like you draw your whole deck and then you draw like some sort of Exodia combo and win the game. It's just the timeless combo of Divine Spirit and Inner Fire along with the other health buffs. Power Word Shield, Beaming Sidekick. We see 2 copies of Beaming Sidekick in this list. Topsy-Turvy, a single copy of Topsy-Turvy and Silence. So it's like a board-based combo, right? Like you get on the board, anything survives, every single creature has a super high threat level in this deck. Because it can have its health doubled, flipped, and kill you at any time. You're never safe. We actually saw in HouseRivalries last week a paladin die at 26 on like turn 6. Because it's just.
We've seen even crazier things in Grandmasters as well. Because this deck is so degenerate when it comes to. If you just have the god hand, you have the draw like having Northshire Cleric early means that you can draw tons of cards, and then you can suddenly just buff up something super high and then just kill stuff, and it's crazy how it works out. And it basically means that every minion you leave on board has a potential to kill you, and that is not a nice position to be in, though the warrior has a lot of the tools to be able to actually do something about it. But this extra arms getting picked up here, being able to be coined out under the cleric, makes this going to be a super hard minion to remove until turn 4, where the mummy could actually deal with it. But Yeah.
And this is one of those the removal options of warrior. You know, so next turn they are going to be able to. I mean, yeah, they'll have to spend
The whole
the
turn,
entirety of
basically.
their mummy. Yeah, they have to spend the entire turn for playing a 4-mana card to clear one Northshire cleric. It's just, I mean, granted, it has the extra arms on it. It's not like it's necessarily unreasonable for 4 mana worth of stuff to clear 4 mana worth of stuff, but the extra arms replaces itself, and that's going to be one less thing to deal with Amit. We see the Amit in hand already, and being able to Amit, Power Word Shield that Amit, Beaming Sidekick that Amit is just, it can put together some boards where Warrior must brawl, or they must Plague of Wrath.
And if they have to brawl, they might just, if the brawl fails, they just that.
Yeah, one of the saddest things you can see is the Warrior is High Priest Amit winning the brawl. It's like, no!
Oh, this Psycho Pump also coming into hand there now. I would love to just see from just playing spells now instead of actually playing any minions, because what you want from this Psycho Pump is just resurrecting this Mortrai Cleric that is a 3/7. Just hit face.
Yeah.
Ooh, Psycho Pump into Psycho Pump.
Huh. And also worth mentioning, the Northshire Cleric that comes back will be reborn. It'll be a reborn minion. So all of a sudden it'll be a 1/3 with reborn, and it'll come back as a 1/1, which means you can heal it and potentially draw cards off it.
There's a here though, the mummy just clearing it off. Basically what this mummy is made of. But this just dropping the Amit straight up. Because even if they kill the Amit now, you have like a 50-50. Both outcomes are good with this Psycho Pump.
Oh yeah, and Amit is a fantastic Psycho Pump target.
Yeah, and if they don't kill the Psycho Pump, no, the Amit, the Psycho Pump will also be a 3/7 instead of a 3/1.
Yeah.
You can even make it worse with like a Beaming Sidekick, and then you get like 3/9, and then whatever it resurrects, which is going to be a Cleric, which is also going to be a 9 health. It's going to be just spiraling out of control. You see the brawl though in the hand of Stockholm. So they got, if they go wide, you have an option to actually clear it. But it's also an RNG clear. You're not sure what you hit. So
yeah, and we might see. I mean, there's a. They're trying to decide where the Snip Snap attack goes, because obviously Amit's health is a resource that all of Paris's creatures will get to share in. Like you're saying, Psycho Pump. Even if they put this 2 damage into Amit, though, Psycho Pump will still come down as a 3/5, and the Northshire Cleric will still come out as a 1/5. And that's
rolling now.
Oh wow!
For the
Okay.
50-50.
Coin toss.
Oh, and they lose the brawl.
Oh, okay. Well, Stockholm decided that it was time to brawl before all of those shenanigans could happen, hoping to just dodge Psycho Pump. But they're going to be very disappointed to see Beaming Sidekick and Psycho Pump potentially come down this turn. Looks like they're also considering other lines of play. Extra arms on Amit, and then Light Warden, for example, allows you to make a gigantic Light Warden. You could Divine Spirit this Amit to make it a 2/14, and then everything you play after that has 14 life, which is, as you were saying earlier, absurd. So,
yeah, seems like they're going for. I think this Psycho Pump is the play with the Beaming Sidekick, just to get a big board of big boys. Yeah, look at this.
oh,
You need a second there, and then you have like a 1/9. Like every one of these minions just kills you with double Divine Spirit and Inner Fire. So
yeah, and one of these cards generates the draw necessary. They are like a Circle of Healing and a Wild Pyromancer away from drawing
their whole deck basically.
8 cards a turn. Yeah.
So the Hecklebot might, they want to do. Thinking about the Hecklebot, and the thing with the Hecklebot is that, yeah, it pulls a minion, but it's not what you want. You don't want to make this board bigger than it is.
Yeah. Now, I've actually not seen the Hecklebot Amit interaction. If a creature gets Hecklebotted out of your deck, does it get the Amit buff?
It should, because it gets, if you kill something with Reborn, it gets the Amit buff. So
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh geez. So that anything you pull from the deck is going to come out with 9 health at least. Well, and at most, it'll come out with 9 health unless they decide to throw some attacks into it. All right. Silverback Patriarch was good enough for what, like the 2014 Grand Finals. But nowadays, it's not exactly what Stockholm is looking for.
That was a horrible, horrible flunky.
I can't say that I blame the flunky. This place is scary. This is a scary board to walk into.
Still no pick. Did they got the Nef reset? So that means they can actually get some healing going with the double trade here and just double heal.
Just draw 2. I would assume that they would like to draw 2. I wonder if they were thinking about extra arms on Amit before playing the Neferset Ritualist, just so the Neferset Ritualist will have the most health possible. You could also put the extra arms on the Psycho Pomp if you want to start loading up someone to deal crippling damage in case this draw is Diesel. Because we see the Divine Spirit already in hand, which means a potential 18 damage is ready to go face.
They need a Topsy-Turvy or Inner Fire here off the top. That's
Circle of Healing.
Circle of Healing. That might help for some more card draw. Another Powered Shield.
I mean, we've come this far. We might as well Power Word Shield something, right? Just to really drive the point home. That we're 0 mana draw 2, not bad.
Not hitting the actual money cards here though with damage, so just deciding to cash in on this and just pushing 5 damage face. And if a Brawl comes off the top now, Warpath does nothing to this board.
No,
unfortunately here.
Oh gosh, we're still 3 turns away from Omega Devastator not being able to do enough damage to clear this Psycho Pomp. What is this life that we live in?
And every turn, like Paris drew what, like 4 cards, 5 cards, didn't they last turn, and still didn't hit anything.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's right. Power Word Shield and then 2 heals.
Yeah, 6 cards in total. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Still didn't draw exactly what they needed, but.
Okay.
This is starting to get scary because every turn you don't hit something, you just gotta feel horrible here. But yeah, this is going straight face now. I'm trying to pressure a little bit, but you're just waiting for this Inner Fire to just kill you.
Yeah. See, off the top there, still not Inner Fire, still not Topsy Turvy. Paris just deciding how they would most prefer to draw another pile of cards off their Circle of Healing. Though they're gonna have to play some things before they Circle of Healing again.
Yeah, they're playing this card, draw even more.
Oh yeah.
Start with the Power Word Shield here. 13.
Okay.
Oh, that's not it. Oh, Neferset is better now because, well, you only draw 2, so you can control it a little bit better.
That's so crazy. Because the Paris is now spoiled for choice. An embarrassment of riches from Paris's hand right now.
But there's no... They have 3 cards that actually just win the game on the spot here now. They draw none of them.
Let me just look at the list here. They are playing Inner Fire and Topsy
That's
Turvy,
the Inner
right?
Fire, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yep, found it.
All right. Can go to 26 here. No, it's not enough though. It's close.
Yep, 28 of the necessary 32 damage. Oh, for a second there, I thought they didn't get their Ahmed attack in. It's like, missed 2 damage!
Oh, the Brawl here.
Okay, this brawl needs to come up huge for Stockholm.
So, you want to go next level and do the Omega Assembly to hope for a 2-mana mech or a 1-mana mech just to have a little higher chance?
Yeah.
The thing is, if you hero power, you have the opportunity. You don't die if you hero power anyways, unless they draw the second Inner Fire here. So.
And if that 26-26 wins the brawl, which it did.
Oh, it did.
Okay. Well, is someone injured? Yeah, I have a feeling Stockholm's about to be.
Yes.
All right, they need a 2-mana mech taunt somehow.
That's unfortunate. And we see it again. Paris just takes it off with that perfect brawl. Of course, it is a brawl. There's a bunch of minions going in to fight each other. Of course, the biggest guy wins.
That's how brawls should go, right? The 26-26 guy just flexes on everybody and kicks everybody.
Even though the town crier is an annoying piece of car that just cries all the time, but he can't really win over a 26-26 Psychopomp here. So that was it for the series here. Paris taking the win here by 3-1, clutching it out there in the end, but winning with Shaman and then winning with Priest, as we have been used to seeing here. But we're not over for this time. There's one more match coming up after this. It will be Necra and Faluar guiding you through that match. But we will have a quick shout out to our sponsors. Do you know our sponsors, Dollar Bills?
I sure do. Allow me to tantalize you with 24-hour fitness. Delta, you're already a fit guy. I'm not. I'm out of shape. Yeah. Oh, look at. I'm not even gonna flex because my muscles are like concave when I try to flex.
Like shrimp cakes, yeah.
But I could turn it around by going to 24-hour fitness. It's in the name. They're open all day. Bring your friends. That's one of the things that I should probably do is find some friends who would also like to exercise to hold me accountable. They have 12 different states, 436 locations, and you can get a free 3-day pass if you complete one of their sponsor quests. It would just follow something, tweet something, retweet something, comment on something, and give it a try. Give it a try at any hour of any day. Exercise is good for you. I don't know how else to say it. Anything that you can do to get you to exercise, definitely consider it. And these guys will give you a free pass.
That's perfect. Yeah, exercising is of course important, but in our hearts, everyone's watching. In our hearts, it's games, and who other than GameStop is it to provide games all over the world, basically here. They are a huge franchise that just pumps out decent stores and have a lot of good games you can pick up, both used and new ones for either your console or PC or whatever you want. They also have introduced something called a Power Up Rewards program. It's a completely new program here. It costs $15.99 for 1 year, and then you start to accumulate points for every dollar you spend, which you can then spend on other stuff in their store. You can have cheaper off for the pre-owned games, like used games. If you want to buy something, you don't care about the box art or something like that. You just want to have the game. Mm-hmm. And it also gives you extra trade credit when you actually trade in your games. So if you play a lot, this $15.99 will save you much more than actually $15.99. So it's if you're a gamer at heart, you want to buy merch, or you want to buy games, you want to buy like gift shop cards, like for Apple Store or Android Store to buy Hearthstone cards, you can do it all from GameStop. So just check it out. Just check out the rewards program.
And while you're checking out potentially rewarding things, check out Matcherino. We're all here, like you said, because we like video games. Presumably, we're also all here because we like esports. And Matcherino is one of the most efficient crowdfunding esports event websites around. You can sign up using all your various social media handles. And then they have a partnership program that allows people to donate to the prize pool, which you can actually do right now. !donate will allow you to donate to the HouseRivalries prize pool. And if you want to know more about the teams, !teams will let you do that. But Matcherino allows you to increase your prize pool. So if you want to throw a tournament, they'll let you increase your prize pool for free just by doing their sponsorship quests. Similarly, following Twitter handles, checking out websites, stuff like that. And they will help you put together a prize pool for your esports tournament. Yeah, it's a godsend for grassroots endeavors.
Yeah, and we've been complaining a lot lately because of the second or third party scene of Hearthstone is not growing enough, but Matcherino is really putting the foundation to actually have a growing scene of Hearthstone. For not everyone is a GM player. Right. A lot of these players playing in this scene is not a GM player, but they want to be. And to aspire to be that, you need tournaments, and Matcherino can be the way there. So check them out. We appreciate it a lot. But that was it for me and Dollar Bills. We will be back after a short break, and that will be Necra and Faluar guiding you through the next.
All right, hello and welcome back. This is going to be the second round of this week 2, day 2 action. I am joined by Falular. Falular, what we have here before us is Cape Town champions against Berlin. And we were talking a little bit about the decks. Why don't you go ahead and take us through the deck lists and perhaps the strategies behind these two teams?
Okay, first of all, hey everybody, and second of all, let's get right to it. Cape Town has their priest band, the one zombie priest that's really popular, so we're not going to really address that very powerful deck. They are bringing a very unique lineup, though. They're bringing Aggro Warrior, not Control, Quest, Mech Paladin, which is really there to beat up on Warriors and Druids, and a Druid of their own. I think that's a very brilliant bring here, especially the Paladin, more so than the Warrior, but still very unique decks that people are not trying to counter right now. And they are countering the two most powerful decks that everybody's bringing, Control Warrior and Druid. And they have managed to actually snipe those because they are facing Control Warrior and Druid alongside Control Shaman with the Zoo Warlock for Berlin that is banned. I think it's a smart ban for both teams. And pretty much looking at these two lineups, I would say Cape Town's favorite, just because that very unexpected Aggro Warrior and Paladin.
Yeah, it's just a real sort of curveball coming in from Cape Town with the aggressive warrior deck. Scourge of the Ladder. I don't know how many times you've been killed by Inner Rage, Bloodsworn Mercenary, Korkron Elite, but man, do I get blown up from that combo more often than I care to admit.
Forget the Korkron Elite. I've been blown up on turn 3 by a gigantic wasp that was doubled up. This deck is just insane. If it draws right, it's just completely OP. Like, you get a 9 attack minion on turn 2 or 3 if you draw correctly.
That's like real life. Like a wasp. I feel like a wasp in real life has 9 attack. and I have maybe 12 health.
Yeah. A bee has to kill itself, but a wasp can just attack you over and over.
Yeah, it just keeps going face, and every time it gets you in the face. But looking at some of the tech choices on the so what's the path to victory then for Berlin? Because you're saying that this isn't the lineup they expected to meet. Yeah. What are some of the matchups that you think Berlin needs to hit in order to maybe sneak through this series?
Well, I think Berlin has 2 options. They can try and be smart and decide what Cape Town is going to queue first, try and snipe that and have an edge there, but that's a double-edged sword because if they fail to guess what Cape Town is going to queue, then they're probably going to lose the series. I think their best chance here is just going for the deck that can swipe everything, which is their Quest Shaman. Their Quest Shaman has double former champs and Barista Lynchen with 1 Brewmaster alongside 2 Box Slosher. So that's a lot of value and a lot of gas, plus these 2 former champs that can swarm the board with 5/5s. That gives them a bigger edge against both the Druid and the Warrior. While against the Paladin, they're still the most aggressive deck. So I'm pretty sure that the Shaman is the only deck here that can easily swipe as long as it passes the hurdle in the Druid, which is not Shaman's favorite matchup here. But Warrior should be okay as long as the Warrior doesn't do broken things, because we just talked about the wasps, right? I'm not gonna get into those.
And it's tough. Shaman doesn't have any of some of the tech inclusions to tailor it towards the priest. Obviously, they were going to ban it, but some of those tools can also help you stay alive against like board-centric buff-based strategies, just in general. Of which Warrior, if they end up with a 9 attack wasp onto the ability to Earth Shock it, even though it's probably in the deck to beat priest, it can definitely help you stay alive against this Warrior, right? Because if the Shaman, like you're saying, makes it into
wait, they don't have Earthshock as far as I'm aware.
They decided not to put in Earthshock. They're not planning on playing against any priests, and now they don't have those tools to help them against Aggro Warrior.
Yeah, but the difference here is that Aggro Warrior is not as good as priests in that regard. Like, yes, they can create a massive wasp or a massive anything, really early on. But that usually doesn't happen if they don't have the right draws in the early game. What the warrior can do better than the priest is go face. And with that, shamans should be able to deal far better because they're going to be able to present threats on board for the warrior to go for instead of the face. I think it's a very interesting matchup. I think the warrior, if the warrior can get that curve early on in the game, if the warrior can get these 1-drops into 2-drops, it's going to be a rough ride for the shaman. But if the shaman could go toe to toe in the first 2 turns, it's probably going to become shaman favorite.
Oh yeah, and there's several things that once they come online, shaman can use to, the Mogu Flesh Shaper, can become cheap very quickly. Even if warrior hits their dream curve, that means there's a lot of creatures on the board, and all of a sudden,
potential Tyrion on turn 3.
Yeah, and then the one of the finest combos that shaman has is a very early game Mogu Flesh Shaper trade into something mutate. And all of a sudden, you've got just an 8-cost card on turn 3. Good luck.
Straight into he reeks the bat, right?
That's right. Get the
best 8-drop in the game.
Get that 1600 dust 1/1 right.
That's why you have 2 evolves. That's why you have 2 of them.
That's right. Let's talk a little bit about this control warrior from Berlin, because they are running a ton of removal. 2 copies of Plague of Wrath on top of their Super Collider, and the usual both brawls, both warpaths, also playing a weapons project without any kind of Harrison Jones. That's not for card draw, that's for shield slams and board control.
Yes, so the weapons project is a very versatile card, and it's also a nod towards the OTK Paladins that have been plaguing tournaments as of late. It gives you 6 more armor, it reduces their 4-attack weapon into a 2-attack weapon, and all these things, but indeed it has this versatility of combining really well with Shield Slam, and also wounding an enemy minion if you need it, for something like a Plague of Wrath or something like an Execute, which I don't think they're running an Execute, but they are running 2 copies of Plague of Wrath.
Mm-hmm.
And a Silence and a Militia commander that is pretty rare nowadays in Warrior. That's a nod to Priest that they have decided to ban. And we're going into the first game. We have Cape Town champions opening with their Druid, and Berlin Lethal doing the same. So we're going to have a Druid mirror.
Yeah. And this will be interesting because some of the key differences between these two, Cape Town has a King Feoris and no Nomi, and they're also playing 2 copies of Worthy Expedition, whereas Berlin is playing Nomi instead of King Feoris, and also has a Floop's Glorious Gloop instead of 2 copies of Worthy Expedition. Yep.
So going into this matchup, I would say that Cape Town is probably favored. If they go toe to toe, then it's Berlin favored because then they can present that Nomi. But I presume Cape Town will be able to play their Feoris first, and if Berlin won't have an answer, which it usually won't have, except for Zephyrus plus Twisting Nether, then Feoris should be able to win the game.
Yeah, and there's wait, did they coin out? Oh, so they coined out their Crystal Merchant, Cape Town did, without playing the quest. So they're going to play quest on turn 2. Really valuing the board tempo here.
It pretty much does the same thing. Like if you play the quest on turn 1 and you save your Innervate, then you don't progress the quest, and then you play on turn 2 the 1/4 with Innervate, so you can draw a card and go into your quest completion. So pretty much that does that a turn earlier, but has a 1/4 just to be annoying on the board. That's a good play.
Yeah, that's cool. I am probably going to borrow that in the future.
Yeah, most people would just play the Innervate straight after the quest on turn 1, but they thought about it a little bit more, and I think they came up with the correct decision here. And yeah, they managed to draw an extra card and they progressed their quest.
And they've put Berlin in a really awkward situation because they're going to have to just pass or opt to Wrath to not completely remove this card, right? Neither of those seems very good. So they could Just gonna pass.
Berlin is not happy to see this, although they could be slightly happy that they are the ones that are progressing towards a Nomi rather than Cape Town, who aren't. So
Right.
the draw aspect here slightly is more influential if it's on Berlin's side.
So if you are Berlin right now, they're faced with they would like to spend only 2 mana, which means probably a hero power or a wrath. Do you want to hero power this one for, or do you want to wrath this one for, or do you go ahead and just grab some armor? Do you want to do 3 mana, gain some armor, draw a card?
No, I always go towards completing my quest. I think I just go for hero power here because that gives me another turn to see maybe I can somehow save that wrath, because I definitely need draws. I don't have anything to put on the board, right, for the next couple of turns. I just have removal.
Yeah, and they might be able to pick up their 1 copy of bees as well for next turn if they go in this order. Yeah.
And then they can use their wrath to actually draw something, which obviously they're in need of. But on the other side, it's not like Cape Town has anything too threatening, except, of course, for that Innervate into Nourish, which doesn't develop anything on board, but it will surely allow them to develop the turn after.
Yeah, and it always has the chance of hitting that Anubisath defender. It's not quite as silly as the old days where you would Ultimate Infestation into the Arcane guy every single time, but nourishing into a Anubisath defender is not that unlikely.
And develop a 5/5.
Right.
Alongside that 4/4, but yeah, that spell was broken. Let's not bring it back.
That's right. Sorry, bring it back some painful memories. All right,
Very painful.
No bees draw for Berlin. So now they are faced with: would they like to wrath this turn, or perhaps do something else? They can throw. Obviously, it's not going to be super Lodi, but they have the option of playing out Lodi in one of her regular dinosaur forms, hero powering again and waiting again, or finally wrathing this. Although at this point, is the damage done? They've drawn 4 extra cards off of this Crystal Merchant.
I think the plan now is just to complete the quest on their own and have something to play next turn. So drawing here makes a lot of sense. They're gonna be really happy to see those Surgers coming in. Okay, that's probably just Innervate Nourish.
Yeah, Innervate Nourish for crystals and start moving.
And Tempo, right? They already drew one of their Anubisaths.
Yeah, and that would actually allow them to still squeeze in that hero power as well. Go ahead and get up to 8 armor. And
the question is, what else are they contemplating on? They could Innervate. Oh wait, they won't do that yet, right? They haven't completed the quest. It's Berlin that completed the quest. Yeah, I would definitely wait then. It's my bad.
Yeah, well, there might be some value though in like innervating out just Nourish for just crystals, since they have so many cards in hand already.
Yeah, but none of them are Surgers or anything exciting. I think they just draw an extra card here. I missed that. I missed that they haven't completed the quest. You definitely save the Nourish here. You can swipe face as well if you really want to. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It looks like they're gonna go for that.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. They want to dump cards from their hand because they don't want to overdraw next turn with Nourish, and now they've drawn their Oasis Surgers, which may actually be next turn's play rather than the Nourish.
Yeah, they actually have Oasis Surger, Innervate, potentially a Wrath, or...
On the other side, they were not seeing anything exciting. It's probably just going to be Wrath. Maybe they're playing Lottie as well. Probably not, though. They're probably playing their own Merchant and Wrath here, which draws them 2 cards and plays something annoying on the board for Cape Town to deal with. But obviously, they will have the tools to deal with that.
Yeah,
Oasis is not really great.
Oasis Surger not too impressed by the Crystal Merchant. Like, oh, Jewels of the Sands, huh? Oasis Surger.
Well, the Merchant is going to draw a card. I mean, that's the best they can hope for. They can't hope for the Cape Town Merchant that's actually drawn, what, 5 cards now? 4 cards?
This Merchant is approaching just legend status with the. It's like letting a. It always reminds me of just like letting a Manatide totem go for 2 or 3 turns. I always start feeling terrible around turn 2 or 3 of not being able to clear.
Yeah, but this time it can poke you for 1 damage every turn.
Yeah, this is way worse. Drawn more cards and taken damage.
They went here for drawing last, which is slightly wrong here, but not too much. And they went for the Lottie, which is interesting. I guess it's okay. It's really good against Oasis Surgers because they don't have anything they can do to deal with that. So Cape Town will have to play their Anubiseth here, maybe alongside the second Merchant, just to try and bait that Lottie out so they can remove it efficiently rather than send in minions to be killed by it.
Yeah. Cape Town definitely benefiting right now from Naturalize not being in the format anymore because they're sitting on 8 drawn up to 9 cards. And I know milling is not necessarily the best play most of the time, but it is spectacularly fun.
Well, they may actually lose to being so far ahead on fatigue. They have outdrawn their opponents by at least 6 cards so far. Of course, that nourish is going to change the picture a little bit, but still, that's a massive amount of cards drawn for them. And they're not progressing into a Nomi. I can't stress that enough. Obviously, the Feroris is going to be more powerful because we're spells in hand. But
yeah, and they haven't actually been able to find. They've found their Floop already. So when Cape Town is able to draw their Feoris, they do get 2 Feoris in a row if they want.
Yeah, they really want to see that in the next 2 turns. So drawing this aggressively is probably okay. They do realize, and I think realizes this correctly, that if they can develop that Feoris early, they're probably going to win the game. Yeah. They have 2 6-cost spells alongside 2 5-cost spells and 3-cost spell. The 2-cost, I'm not sure what I would do with that. I'd probably just spend it so I don't lose to an unfortunate Doomsayer.
Oh, yeah, Doomsayering yourself right out of the game.
I mean, that's like a risk they don't have to take. And they even have bees here. So I think they don't have any good target to Wrath, though.
Yeah, this is actually kind of an awkward situation. They have a bunch of removal spells that they can't target Lodi with. And if they
it's
one of
very
their own
awkward.
guys.
They can't use any removal here on Lottie, and they know that if they play a big minion, they play Oasis Surger, they play their 6-cost Treant. I don't remember the minion's name.
Vernal Ancient, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they do any of that, if they develop any tempo here, it's just gonna be easily dealt with the spell power empowerment by Lottie, or Lottie itself, which has poisonous.
Yeah, they have the option if they want to cycle their Ferocious Howl this turn and just try to give themselves one more chance to draw Feoris, and then
I think you might just Wrath. You might just Wrath your own 1/4. Just because it's pretty obvious that Berlin is trying to fatigue them now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just leaving these merchants. Oh, they've spent their Floop as well.
Interesting. They're going heavy on the board.
They're really trying hard to bait the removals here and to bait the Lodi out.
Which, if you are Berlin, it's only a bait if Berlin can do something. Otherwise, it's just lethal damage.
Right? No, they can do something, right? They can do swipe and Starfall and clear the board. And they don't even need to spend their Lodi. They don't even need to bring it out of hiding.
So, and we see waiting in the hand from Berlin all of those resources. Oh wait, is there actually? I don't. Oh no, there's a Starfall. Okay, for a second,
yeah, there's
they're mousing over
and
Starfall and I couldn't see it. Okay, so yeah, most likely they have exactly enough mana necessary to spell power swipe and spell power Starfall this turn.
They could go for something else, I suppose, and then utilize the Lottie itself. It just depends now how much they value the Lottie. Being on board. They probably won't use Lottie. I think they'll just keep it hidden in stealth. Yeah, they're going for the full clear.
Yeah, and they've seen that Cape Town has a full hand of cards. So Berlin also knows that a lot of the cards in Cape Town's hands are reactionary.
Yeah, that Lottie has been Cape Town's bane this game, and here it is.
Here it is. I mean, this is what we get.
you play it. You play it, and you may get a Doomsayer, but whatever.
Yeah, this is why it's in your deck. You have a handful of spells,
Wow.
no Doomsayers. Oh,
Wow, those are some quality minions. A 2/7 that gets more powerful when you use removal, and a Cairn.
yeah.
And you've just baited out, right? You've just baited out the Starfall and the Swipe. The Cape Town didn't have that in hand. They had to gamble on it, and boy did it work. They had to even spend their Floop, right? They had to spend the Floop to warrant these board clears from hand, or else Berlin wouldn't have to use them.
Right. And so now Berlin's staring down the barrel of, I want to say, about 1 million damage showing on board. And they just they just spent the Swipe and the Starfall. They have another Swipe. They have a Wrath. They can put up one of those Vernal Ancients to try to slow some of this down. And they also have the opportunity, if they want to drop their Cenarius for a couple of taunts and to buff up Lodi. They're going to
have a second Lodi.
Yeah, they're going to floop out second Lodi, and I would assume double spell power swipe coming down.
That clears the board.
And they saw the floop get spent already. So
right,
now
that clears the board with Wrath, I'm pretty sure.
I think
that's a very weird way to go about it. I trade into the 2/7 first, just so I get more HP on my Lodi.
Oh, right. Yeah, does this end up with a Bane surviving? Oh, they actually just don't decide to attack with either Lodi. They're going to go ahead and they're willing to take 19 face damage showing, right? 19 face damage is showing. Neither of these Lodis, as the Innkeeper will tell you all the time, if you have stealth, you can't taunt. So, 19
I think Cape Town might just heal a minion here.
Yeah, might as well. Maybe heal up either Cairn or King Feoris.
Yeah.
And get another 6/6 in play. They just saw Berlin struggle with this board.
I think they even play the 3/5 taunt. Like they've seen so much removal already. They're thinking about it. I think playing it is correct. Like the only thing that can punish you is a second Starfall, right? They've used both copies of Swipe. They've used the copy of Starfall. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, if Berlin chooses to Starfall the 3/5, then that means none of the other ones are getting the full 7 damage. So here we go. Let's see Berlin's master plan to survive this just onslaught of board pressure from Cape Town. Anything they do that is board based, Cape Town has a bunch of removal. In the both Starfalls and the Wrath and the Bees all still in hand, as well as the Oasis.
Yeah, they go with that first every time. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, not a lot of help here. If you survive, the power of the. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So does it
play that and what?
How do those two halves interact with each other? Like if they cast that on Cairn, does he heal for 5 and then take?
No,
two?
he's gonna die. He's dying first, and then he gets healed, which doesn't really work. Yeah, they have to heal themselves. They do realize that. And now the question is, what else do they play? And I think it's definitely Bees. Yeah, they Bees the highest attack minion that actually dies from it, and then they're gonna finally bring both their Lodis out of stealth, leaving Cape Town with 14 damage showing on board. Of course, they will have the removal now for this board pretty easily. Mm-hmm. I suppose we'll see Wrath first.
Yeah,
or Lodi. Lodi probably goes in first, actually.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
that clears the board without Wrath.
For sure. And I guess actually they want to draw. Looks like they
want to draw into making Zephyrus work, which is still not working.
Yes, they have 2 copies of. Well, it wasn't. We saw one swipe go face earlier. They've already spent.
I think they may have missed lethal here. If they played Lodi first, they would have had lethal. I think if they sent swipe to face.
And actually, they may still might.
Is it still lethal? Yeah, it's 14 damage. That's still lethal. So Feoris are actually bringing the win. like we actually talked about. That's a major edge, a board that even with all this removal spent by Berlin Lethal, having 2 Lotties to empower these removals and have Poisonous on board, they still couldn't deal with 1 Furris. Like they didn't even keep the Floop, right? They didn't even replay a second Forest. They played 1 Forest, it stayed on the board for so long with its minions, and that's it.
Yeah, and it was because at first glance, I was definitely thinking the Oasis Surger into Floop Surger was an overcommit into the removal options that Druid has, but Berlin wasn't able to find the rest of their spell-based, because I mean the reality is after that King Feoris board, what else did Cape Town have, right? Like Cape Town was aggressively attacking, and then they got cleared, and then Feoris, and then after that it was going to have to be Zephyrus, Oasis Surgers, right? 6/6 taunts. If Berlin could have found a way to handle that board, I think they definitely would have been able to continue on potentially all the way to the Nomi phase, because we saw that if that board had been handled, Chef Nomi could have very well been the deciding factor.
Yep, I think we've seen both teams understand how the matchup works, and as soon as Cape Town realized they are behind, they didn't have Forest in hand. They decided they have to gamble. They have to send everything out to bait those removals out, so they can actually use Forest if they draw him to win the game, and they ended up drawing him because they've drawn so much of their deck in the early game. Thanks to that brilliant turn 1 play, by the way.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm going to definitely co-opt that for my own ladder experience. Of course.
And now since it's LHS, right? They're going to stick with their Druid here and play against the Warrior.
And the Warrior decides to queue up, or Berlin decides to queue up their Control Warrior, the very lots and lots of removal Warrior.
Yep.
Against this Quest Druid.
Definitely a right queue, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Paladin is very powerful against Druid in general, just because Druids are going to have a very rough time clearing those big boards that the Paladin can create from the mid game to the late game. But sometimes they just go toe to toe because they're very similar decks. In this scenario, though, the Warrior is so teched towards removal, towards these annoying Druid boards with Plague of Wrath, that it becomes slightly more favored. And Cape Town doesn't have Nomi, right? They don't have Nomi. They don't have sorry. They don't have Nomi for all this gas. They just have Forest. And
Right.
Forest is not gonna cut it unless you copy Forest with Elise. And
Yes.
that's gonna take forever. Right? They're not gonna have they're gonna have to spend their spells. Forest is gonna be weaker and weaker as time goes by. The Warrior is gonna face a weaker and weaker Forest as the game prolongs. And that's completely different than Nomi, which actually only becomes powerful at the end game. So they're like, in order for the Druid basically to bait out the removal from the Warrior, they're going to have to spend resources. If they spend resources, Forest becomes weaker. So that's not the matchup Cape Town has been hoping to get. They haven't... I don't know. They're going to have to be probably lucky in this game. I think the Warrior has a big edge.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they choose to sort of ration out, because the Warrior on the other side, it is a control Warrior, like we were talking about, tons of removal, and also specifically tailored to, they even cut one of their Dynamatics, right? Because Oasis Surger laughs in the face of Dynomatic once it's online. Plague of Wrath able to actually clear big minions that are damaged. But this Warrior also has some sort of like mid and mid-late game punch with the Armageddillo, both Tomb Wardens, and then whatever they happen to generate off their copy of Frightened Flunky, and then Ziliax. So and then of course they have Dr. Boom, which is just unlimited value generation over the course of the game if the game goes that long, for the possibility of additional Tomb Wardens, and then all the other good mechs that they can get off the hero powers. So the Druid has to figure out how greedy can this druid even play? Because like you were saying, you know, at least the Enlightened, Zephyrs the Great, and Floop allow you to do multiple Feoris, but if they have to spend all their spells to stay alive, having 3 Feoris isn't that useful.
Yeah, exactly. Like basically now they're gonna have to beat the warrior just doing regular druid things. They're gonna have to win on the back of Oasis Surgers and Hidden Oasis and these kind of cards. And the warrior just has boards to deal with those without spending its removal tools. So if they can't bait out these removal tools and the warrior just keeps having some level of tempo on the board throughout the game, they won't be able to stick a single Feoris even in the late game. And that's the weakness of not running Nomi.
And we have the Armageddillo. It's turn 6. Ziliax and Tomb Warden both in hand already.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about, right? They played Oasis Surger on turn 5, and the warrior doesn't have to spend a single card to deal with those. He just does its own thing.
Yeah, and he can't, and right now, without using even more of its remove, so we're actually going to see a Starfall come down pretty much just to kill Armageddillo. It is going to allow them to generate a 0 mana 3/5 taunt as well. But Armageddillo already got its it's +6/+6 worth of value off the effect, and it pulled a Starfall out.
Wait, +6/+6?
Because it's +2/+2 on the Tomb Warden. That's doubled, and Ziliax is in hand.
Right. Tomb Warden.
Yeah, it
makes a copy of itself.
Bananas, I think is the industry term. That is.
Yeah, it's the Sour Knight chain gang effect before nerf.
That's right. Oh, that's right. I forgot I wonder if Serenite Chain Gang is looking at Tomb Warden. It's just like, I should have been a mech.
That's the one copy of Dynomatic. Look at that. They have one Dynomatic in the deck because they're expecting Druids and Priests. Dynomatic is not good against those. And they got full value on it. Still sitting on this Plague of Wrath and still sitting on this Tomb Warden. They could still lose pretty easily, though, if they get that Plague of Wrath squeezed out of their hands, pretty much. Because they don't have any other removal tools in hand. They just have tempo-y tools like Ziliax and Tomb Wardens.
Yeah, and so we see Cape Down looking to generate
Hidden Oasis every time.
Yeah. Is there any... I'm trying to think if there's any reason you would take Druid of the Claw for a 4/6 taunt charge.
I think you just want a 6-cost spell for Feoris.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Because right now their Feoris is not looking very, very exciting with 2 0-cost spells.
Maybe they pick Druid of the Claw, though, because they know they need to spend something next turn. Yeah, okay, that's okay as well. They do realize that next turn they don't have any tempo to play on the board unless they play their Hidden Oasis, which makes Feoris weaker again.
Yeah.
So they better get the better minion here, which is probably Druid of the Claw.
All right, so here it comes. 2/5/8 Tomb Wardens on turn 8. Druid already had to spend one of their Starfalls. We see the second one come into hand, but Starfall, they'd have to use Starfall and swing with their face weapon in order to clear 1/2 of this Tomb Warden. And
they could expend their Druid of the Claw as well, maybe?
Yeah, that's true. And they could opt to Starfall, swing, and then innervate out that Hidden Oasis. But like you were saying just a half a second ago, this is a 5-cost spell and a 6-cost spell being committed.
Yep. And now Feoris doesn't do much, right?
Doesn't do much.
Sometimes a 3-drop and a Wisp.
I mean, Wisps are incredibly powerful, but I don't even know.
And King Mukla is a 3-drop, right?
Oh, that's true. Without the bananas downside. This is looking pretty good for Berlin right now. They have the option to, if they want to, magnetize this Ziliax onto the Tomb Warden. After drawing, they can shield block, shield slam, magnetize Ziliax, heal all the way up to 36. Put a Divine Shield, taunt, lifesteal, rush in the way. 10/10. They just built their very own Colossus of the Moon. But it's got lifesteal.
Yeah. It's even better
It's
because like the reborn wouldn't do anything because Cape Town doesn't have a way to remove it.
Yeah. All right, it's time for Cape Town to go fishing. I don't know what.
Oh, here's the way.
Here we
They're
go.
gonna take 10 damage to send War Druid Lottie into it.
Gosh, do you ever War Druid Lottie swipe face and then Lottie in just to save the 10 damage?
I don't think so. I mean, if you play your swipe, then King Ferris really does nothing.
Really does nothing. Can't even get Mukla anymore.
I think they may have just needed to play Forest the turn after the two Mordants were played. Because look at that, like, if you understand how this matchup works when both players have these kind of techs in their decks, then you probably can't afford to wait till you can copy Forest, because you're going to copy a 5/5 that does nothing.
Yeah, you're not
So-
interested in a 10 mana 5/5?
Yeah, so may as well just play it when you have expensive spells in your hand, and then they will have to use those two Wardens to trade. But right now they're just been given so much time to find removal spells that even if you copy King Forest and it creates a moderately okay board, you pretty much expect Berlin Lethal to have the answers.
Yeah, we haven't seen a single brawl. We haven't seen a single.
Okay, we're
Plague
going
of Wrath.
infinite, guys.
Oh,
Infinite
it's
flunkies.
happening. It's happening.
Oh,
my gosh.
snap a doodle.
Well, I mean, of course, yeah, I was gonna say for the fans, you gotta. There's no value right now, but our Mega
For
Delo
the fans.
yeah, do it
It's
for
the
the
best
fans.
taunt. It's okay stat at it presents.
Okay, now Feoris is still not good. Okay,
I think they have to go for the try and stall till they can do something with Forest. Oh,
Oh,
now
they drew
that
their
Amalthus
last
and
duplicate.
Zephyrs are active.
Okay, so do they play Zephyrus on a board where he's likely to offer them Twisting Nether? Is that what we've got to?
No,
Like
no,
use
no,
Zephyrs
no.
for a Twisting
They'll
Nether?
have to copy this hand with Elise maybe this turn. They probably can't wait any longer.
Yeah.
Maybe they could. Maybe they could. They can play Druid of the Claw into the Merchant, and then try and get the Floop. Maybe that's
Oh
okay.
yeah, copy the flute.
If they can copy Floop, then and Zephyrus, then they have double Zephyrus, potentially quadruple Zephyrus, or double Forest, double Zephyrus, which is okay.
Yeah.
Not amazing though.
No, in the Feoris until those unless Zephyrus can gas up this Feoris with some big spells.
They
I
could
don't know
do
what they.
something, like if they're not threatened too much, they could go for the Dream, which is like Elise into Floop Elise into Floop Elise, and that kind of thing. But that
Yeah.
just spams the board with 3/4 Elise every turn. It's probably not good enough against Warrior.
Yeah, and unless you can somehow leverage that into a combo that gives you a bunch of big spells to eventually give you a big Feoris, I'm not sure. Yeah, because you're gonna have to present one board. Board 1, 2, and 3, and 4 are not going to be enough. Like you're saying, you need a fifth board somehow, potentially against Warrior, or you just need Warrior to draw nothing but bricks. All right, let's go draw some more.
Oh, that's good draw. That's
Mhm.
definitely a good pickup.
I would assume you just go ahead and. So now, is this hand good enough to copy? I assume is what they're talking about.
I think
Or-
you don't copy that. Yeah, you keep you play Anubisat definitely. You just wait. They need to remove this board, and here's the Floop is drawn. Now you can copy. This hand does something.
Mm-hmm.
This hand can be just a bunch of Oasis Surgers. It's still okay.
Yeah, if you're able to do. All right, so now this is the first situation where Warrior just doesn't have the board resources available to just go ahead and deal with with this situation here.
They're probably just going to spend their one of their Warpaths here to full clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would.
The Druid can take it from there. Actually, we see they only have one Plague of Wrath in hand right now.
Yeah, so they swing their weapon into the 4/6 and then
Yeah.
quintuple Warpath past the turn.
Quintuple. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hit him
Quintuple
with the
that shit.
Quinn.
Wow.
Let's see, what else are they thinking about? I guess they're trying to decide if there's any other.
They're being
other
very
opportunity.
greedy here. I think it's okay, but that kind of signifies to Cape Town that they aren't sitting on as many removal tools as they're thinking.
Yeah. And so now
Cape Town will develop further. I think they'll just have to play into the removal. I think they have the hand for it. They could play Elise even.
So do you want to copy this Innervate, or do you like Worthy Expedition? Do you want to copy this Worthy Expedition?
No, I think you look for the fat spell with Worthy Expedition.
Here we go. Mark of the Low is as fat as it gets. Although Oasis Surger is just a good card.
Now I think you just go for Mark of the Loa just because of King Thoris, but Oasis Surger is actually very decent. But yeah, I think they went for the better play.
Spend the Innervate. Here comes Elise. Gonna go ahead and make a handful of the same hand.
I think you actually. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have played that, but yeah, very interesting.
This takes away that infinite combo you were talking about, where you just
That doesn't really work, right? Because you play Elise and then you overdraw. You can't copy really.
You know what they wish they had right now was 2 copies of Pounce, because then they could just do that.
Yeah, they do actually. Almost.
All right, here we go. Here's the quintuple Warpath that was foretold a turn ago. And this is going to be all 10 mana as well as 4 of the life of this warrior.
That's a lot of value. I think Cape Town had to, but it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good that you didn't get out the Brawl, you didn't get out the Plague, you just got out 1 Warpath.
Yeah. So now this turn, it begs the question: Is this your best Feoris chance? You have a couple copies of
Forest. What does it get you here? There's
a couple
just
of 4-cost cards.
Yeah,
not
just
much.
2 4-drops, right?
Yeah, not a whole lot.
I think you probably just go for another Oasis here, or for Zephyrus into Tyrion or something of the sort.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with a Tyrion.
Yeah, that's a Tyrion right there. You don't go. Yeah. Oh, actually, you could go for Goalhowl and just try to kill Berlin lethal.
Oh yeah, just use it as a neutral.
I guess.
It's not
I
neutral,
guess not. But now Tyrion is gonna get silenced, and they're not gonna get that 15 damage.
Yeah.
I mean, Berlin is never gonna allow that, right? They are on 21 HP. They're not gonna allow them to have Ashbringer.
Yeah. Although if they decide to silence and then not remove Tyrion, then that means they can hit Tyrion with Mark of the Loa on future turns if they want to. And that would make him a much larger Tyrion. All right, both Eternium Rovers hit the board, and as well as that silence, like you were talking about. Armor up, pass. And now, once again, Cape Town is going to have to decide how they want to mete out their potential threats moving forward. They also have 2 Floop Tyrions if they really want to get themselves an Ashbringer.
Wait, I'm confused.
So many choices.
Oh, I guess they were thinking about Warpathing to gain the extra armor?
Will you play Tyrion here? Probably never, I think. I think you just play Oasis Surger, and you double trade, and then you trade nothing else? Think you just go face?
Yeah, they're thinking about it, though. They're looking at this 4-mana Tyrion, and...
That's tempting. Like, I wouldn't say... Yeah,
Yeah, this is tough, because you can either, depending on how much you want to play into
maybe
what you
you just
think.
play 1, right? Maybe you just play 1 because it represents so much damage that Berlin lethal can't really defend themselves from.
Yeah, Berlin only has the 1 silence, so the second Tyrion is guaranteed to get you your Ashbringer. And we've also seen the weapons
Unless
project
it lives forever.
Unless it lives forever, that's true. that would prevent the Ashbringer for sure.
Oh, they actually went for the trade here. That's playing around Brawl. And they're buffing. Oh, that's not because you summoned the 2/3/2s. I don't know. I don't know if I would actually trade the Zephyrs here. I just go face.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and see this board. They definitely, on the one hand, will not at all be surprised to see whether it's Plague of Wrath or Brawl this turn. I assume Brawl, because Plague of Wrath is pretty ineffective at this point, unless they choose to armor up Shield Slam Tyrion and then Plague of Wrath, something like that. Or they could Warpath Plague of Wrath as well. Okay, so we're going to see the first of the 4 super premium board removals used up here.
And there isn't a hidden Oasis drawn, so it does something.
Yeah, and they still have a Mark of the Lowest. So Phaeorus summons a 4 cost, a 6 cost, and oh, that's it. But
Actually, you have so much threat in hand that you don't care. You just play your forest now. I think there's nothing on the other side that should stop you.
yeah,
You have double forest, and then you can choose whether you wanna play the fluke forest or not. You have scenarios, so you don't need really forest anymore.
what do you think about Zephyrus into another Tyrion?
I don't think so, actually. I think now you keep the Zephyrs for these weird niche scenarios where the warrior actually gets the upper hand again. I think you just play forest now. Oh, they have.
Oh my gosh, the beast!
And now it's very awkward for Brawl, right? Because it always keeps a decent minion. And it also lets Berlin Lethal know that they have a hidden Oasis in hand or a Nourish.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, I guess they have both swipes come out already.
So many.
No, just because it's a 6-cost beast, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the 4 cost. I'm thinking about the 4 cost.
Oh, they should know for sure it's Mark of the Law, because if they count the cards in the hand, they should know at least copied the Mark of the Law they play.
They would have seen the. That's right. They would have seen the copy come down. All right. So now Berlin Lethal has 2 brawls, and like you were saying, neither one of which is super exciting. Especially like if they brawl.
They didn't draw Dr. Boom, which is very unfortunate for them. And now they're just running short of answers, which is what Druid wants to do against Warrior. It's pretty favored. It's a pretty favored archetype in general. But these Warriors we've seen from board control and other players that have been sporting more removal tools have been considered favored against Druid.
The second Phaeorus is going to have an extra 6-cost card in it also.
Yeah, Berlin must feel bad about this because they have foreseen the Druid matchup. They have prepared their warrior correctly, and they're still not beating it.
Yeah, this is.
Wow, these are some mediocre drops.
Yes, they are. We're gonna go ahead and see Zephyrus. Gonna offer something for 4 mana. Soul of the Forest.
Definitely the play.
Yeah. And then sort of this King Phaeorus, do you send this face, knock off the armor, or do you clear the
You go face. You have an army of 2 drops after this board is removed, and there are no longer any warpaths.
And Cenarius is gonna be nasty if you know, I assume the second brawl is coming out.
You just go face here with your 3/3. Maybe you trade a 3/2. Doesn't feel amazing, and then brawl.
But you definitely brawl. Yeah, you have to brawl. And then it's not going to matter. Cenarius is going to buff all of those treants by +2/+2.
Yeah, that's pretty much and they end here for Berlin. Like they have. Imagine what they must feel though. They have queued this warrior.
Yeah.
Straight into Cape Town's Druid. They knew they were staying on the Druid because they have to in this format, and they haven't went for their other deck, so they must feel that Warrior is favored here, like I felt, because Paladin is definitely favored against Druid as well. So,
although Berlin has to choose between Shaman and Warrior.
Maybe.
Unless I oh wait, or did I miss my?
Between Paladin, between Quest Paladin.
I thought Cape Town was bringing the Paladin.
All right, you are right. They had to choose between Shaman and Warrior. And they have picked the warrior. The shaman is closer to a 50-50 as well, just because they have former champs.
And here it is. They're gonna. Oh, this is absolutely the correct thing to do. Go for the cool lethal. Get the bloodlust off this third Zephyrus of the game.
Well, that actually is a really nice fit with Vicina here. Just complements the random minion beautifully.
Yep. Oh, that's right. Oh man. So like you were just saying, Berlin picked that matchup. Right?
Yeah.
They had the choice between their own shaman and their own warrior. They knew it was going to be against this quest druid, open deck list format, so they know. And quest druids still got there. It took almost all 30 cards, but they got there.
Yeah, I think it didn't even take most of their cards because they they decided to wait. Berlin didn't develop enough tempo to make them spend these resources. They were able to wait on that extremely valuable release, and they pretty much copied every minion you want to take except for scenarios, and that's pretty much endless value. The warrior game plan there, as we said in the start, is to just have tempo and squeeze out the druid for answers, make it play in ways it doesn't want to play, so it doesn't get to copy all these cards. But Cape Town were very patient. They almost lost to a massive 10 attack minion, right?
That's right.
And they won thanks to that Lottie top deck, right? They if they didn't top deck Lottie, they wouldn't have a way to deal with that 10 drop.
Yeah, that's true.
Very, very intense game there. It could have gone either way. And now we are seeing the Quest Shaman. Obviously, they don't have a choice really. They had the coin. They play the totem on 1 instead of playing the quest, which is, of course, the correct play because druids aren't going to be able to answer that unless they jeopardize their own, or not jeopardize, unless they damage their own quest progression.
Yeah, and you saw them take the crystal. What's that called? Crystal power. They took the crystal power off of their untapped or off of their worthy expedition and then didn't play it just because, like you were saying, they don't want to slow down their own quest progression. Yeah. And so this evil totem gets 2 draws, and it's still on the board. Actually, they decided to play their own.
It gets 3 draws.
Yeah.
It doesn't get dealt with this turn either.
Still. So now
3 lackeys.
Yeah, but then they have the questing explorer ready to go. 2/3 draw card is quite good. I guess they're trying to decide if they want to spend. They could potentially, if they wanted to, spend their 2 kobold lackeys to deal with this 1/4.
No, I think that you just play the quest girl and you play 1 lackey just to trade the 2/1 into it.
They didn't have enough mana to do.
They did.
They were overloaded by the Sludge Slurper.
Oh, they only had 2 mana.
Yeah, they only had 2 mana.
Sorry, I haven't seen their mana crystals, and I did forget.
No worries. There's this deck, the Quest Shaman in particular, just has so much stuff going on, especially in the early game, like 1 and 2 mana stuff.
Yeah.
And Sludge Slurper doesn't look particularly overloading. He's just very purple.
He is. He's a great card in this deck, but he's a great card in general.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely deserves an overload.
Yeah. So now coming into the 4 mana turn, questing explorer is so good.
Questing adventure, no, questing explorer. You're right.
And then so now you have to choose between Cable Rat or Novice Engineer.
I think it's Novice. I mean, you are really looking hard for the Evolve Lackey here, just because of the hand you have here.
Yeah.
You have a former champ, which you definitely want to evolve, and you have the 7-cost Mogu guy. I don't remember the first word.
The Mogu Flesh Shaper.
Oh, the second word. I didn't.
Yeah, although when I look at him, I always thought he was a Jade guy. I thought he was.
Mogu are made of stone or something like that. Some sort of jade, whatever.
This is what my World of Warcraft lore is definitely flagging behind. I actually don't know. Evil Cable Rat, like you were saying, still no Evolve lackeys and no Mutate cards available.
That's probably just trying to get the barista, right? That's a pretty greedy play. But if this board sticks, they're gonna play barista almost for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna be nothing like 5 mana 4/5 draw 4.
Yeah,
I would play
wow.
that. I would play that card.
And that's also deal 8 damage from hand.
Yeah.
Double Kobold Lackey.
All right, we're getting to see the Druid of the Claw. Gonna reprise their role.
Yeah. And next turn they have Oasis Surgers down to a lot of actually powerful tools here for Cape Town. So Berlin has to step up here. They haven't completed their quest. That doesn't happen traditionally. Usually the Shaman completes the quest before the Druid.
Yeah, definitely don't want to go into turns 6 and 7 in particular without your quest being complete. So now this turn, actually, Berlin has to decide if they do Barista, they'll actually just overdraw 2 of the cards and then whatever their next card is. So they'll have to, it looks like they're going to decide to complete their quest this turn.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. But then how, what do you do after you complete the quest this turn? Because you can, okay, yeah, I was going to say, were they only at 4? did I lose count of the...
I mean, I would probably just play Barista, to be honest. But maybe they're too scared to overdraw.
Yeah, they're actually going to hero power double spell this turn. Voltaic Burst, Zap, Elementary Reaction, the choices.
They went for draw with this hand size.
Wow, Big Bad Voodoo.
I would never go for draw having this big a hand, especially when the hand has Barista and Novice Engineer.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a tough deck.
That is
I don't think it gets played, but maybe they're so afraid of Bloodlust because they just discovered 2 spell that they're going to be forced to play it.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. They just saw there's 2 cards on the far side of the Berlin hand that they don't know what it is, and if it's Stormbringer or a Bloodlust.
That's actually pretty smart. That's pretty smart from Berlin Lethal. They probably say to themselves, okay, they may have Surgers. How can we play to prevent them from playing these in the first place? Because they don't have a good answer for Oasis Surgers.
And
so now it's on them, right? Now it's on them to produce another annoying board.
And Sludge Slurper is happy to oblige.
And they found the right type of Lackey, finally. The problem here is that they're overloaded for 1 mana crystal next turn. I didn't forget the Slurper this time.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're not going to be able to play the former champ with the hero power, right? They're not going to be able to create 2 5/5s.
Yeah, they'll have to. Is that wait? Which totem is that?
That hurts. I think it's Spirit of the Shark.
Oh, it's Shark.
Spirit of the Shark. That's the only spirit for 4.
If your minions battle cries trigger twice and you hero power, do they go off 4 times? If you Shark and hero power, do you get?
No.
No, they both
I
just
don't
say
think
twice.
it doubles up actually.
Oh,
Maybe
that would be insane.
No
Yeah,
way,
it
right?
doesn't
It doesn't double up.
Yeah,
No,
I guess
if you have 2 sharks on board, it doesn't, do quadruple battle cry. So why would it do it with the hero power?
Yeah, I don't know how the battle cry is worded. If it just says twice, because the Shark definitely says only twice. It doesn't say double. Yeah, I guess the hero power probably only says twice as well. Yeah, I mean, it's good for Cape Town, but
Can we get some mouse overs here?
All right, Oasis Surger, Anubisath Defender. Gonna just go ahead and come on down and start contesting some board. Now they actually don't have to press the hero power button though if they don't want to. They can just save that 2 mana and do other stuff with it. Now they can't do the former
they're
champ.
Gonna do, right?
Yeah, they can former champ this turn.
They may have to.
I must ponder.
I don't see any way. Like, I really don't like the fact they spent the evolving lackey last turn.
Yeah.
Like they have 3 amazing minions to play that lackey on, and you throw it away. You don't throw it away, but you spend it on a 2-drop. They obviously didn't get the minion they wanted, but
That's
I
a
don't know.
diplomatic
Maybe
way of putting
they
it.
could have been a little bit greedier.
So former champ would make, if they just play out former champ, they would be able to play both Mogu Flesh Shapers if they wanted to this turn. Though, like you were saying, they don't have any evolve effects to really capitalize on the former champ, or either, you know, if they run both Flesh Shapers.
Yeah, they will. They will do it. Like I believe they will do it. They must realize that they are not doing that.
Okay, they're opting not to. They're gonna hold on to the former champ. Oh, they're gonna big bad voodoo the Mogu Flesh Shaper.
Well, that's okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. Man, this. Okay, so looking at this from Cape Town's perspective, sitting on all 10 mana by virtue of that nourish from earlier.
It's just scenarios, right?
Seems like it. Scenario seems really good right now.
You can
2,
play
4,
Oasis
4.
Searcher and Druid of the Claw. Is that good?
That would. Yeah, I would assume they're going to go for Cenarius just because it makes these 5/5s run into that 07 just cleanly 1-for-1. But they might also be thinking about wanting the additional rush just to try to deal with the Flesh Shaper that currently hasn't been evolved. Maybe. That's the only thing I can think of for why you would opt for Oasis Surger and Druid of the Claw instead of Cenarius this turn. It is technically a legal play in the game of Hearthstone to play Hidden Oasis this turn. That is a permitted card that could technically be played, but it seems very unlikely.
Yeah. Either 9 or 5. Would you really play 6?
Right. Yeah. Okay, there's the Cenarius. Oh, and they're just gonna go ahead and hit him in the face.
Do they get punished?
Let's see. So hero
They
power.
might. They
Hero
will
power.
get punished.
Yeah. What is hero power sandstorm elemental?
It allows them to clear.
Perplexing.
They could actually play the
Not
sandstorm
enough.
elemental twice if they want to, because they can elemental.
I think they will
There.
have to, right? Because they need to clear. That's the punish.
Oh yeah. And this activates their elemental reaction for next turn.
And it overloads them.
Oh yes, it does quite badly. I think they're
Never
overloaded
forget.
for 2 going into next turn.
I like trading the 3/1 that's gonna evolve into something. Go face with the 3/1 that's not.
Yeah, you might as well. The 5/4 Cenarius is. I guess they're.
It's just gonna stay there.
Yeah, it's just gonna stand there and. What do we got here?
Nice.
Lucid Bark.
Nice. That
Oh, and that'll-
has amazing synergy with life.
Oh yeah, we see both Life Drinkers in the hand already. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
That's gonna enable at least 2 more Lucent Barks.
And Barista as well. They can actually Life Drinker, Barista. Oh, they don't have. They can't hero power Life Drinker and
Well,
Barista.
probably a Life Drinker is gonna stay on the board for Barista, right? And
Right.
then you can get 2 of them back and have infinite Lucent Bark.
Infinite Lucent Barks. All
Who's
right.
the Druid now, Druid?
Yeah, Druid. I see your Druid and raise you a Druid. All right, both Oasis Surgers gonna have to rush into this Lucent Bark. We're gonna see the Druid of the Claw come down to try to protect those 2 5/1s.
Oh yeah, look at Cape Town. I really love how they analyze the game. They just realized they're screwed.
Yes.
They have to squeeze in that damage now, so they can maybe Zephyr's lethal them next turn or some other turn when it's enabled.
That is my favorite.
It's a
they've
race.
done analysis and they've realized they are screwed.
Perplexing.
Yeah, look, Life Drinker is gonna heal, is gonna enable. They're not close to lethal anymore. They have a taunt away for lethal.
Yeah. No, it's so for this turn, Berlin can either they can hero power. They have 7 mana remaining, so they can hero power and Life Drinker to activate the Lucent Bark again. But that would be all that they can do this turn if they opt for that. They could also just.
I think you do it. I think
Yeah,
you just.
they're thinking about drawing.
Swiftly.
No, I think you just battle cry.
Oh, they're actually gonna Bog Slosher their elemental and play him again.
I don't like it, to be honest. I think like you can get rid of the majority board anyway, just with what you have. and you're gonna trade anyway, so why not get that Lucenbark online?
Yeah, I guess that's and I am not exactly sure because there's no cards in Cape Town's hand that are created by us, I don't think.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and
Now they're gonna do this and go first, right? Are they gonna swipe? No.
no, they're I guess that swipe is burned now. They're gonna try to set them to 4, try to lull them into a false sense of security. But surely this turn, the double life drinker comes down.
Yeah.
And by double, I mean hero power life drinker. They could, I guess, also just play both life drinkers if they want to, but
I think we can draw first. Let's see, like looking at their hand, they can probably draw first. Try and get double Shadow Walk or something.
oh yeah.
That
Let's
doesn't
see.
really matter, right? They don't win with double Shadow Walk anyway.
Ah, double wasp.
Didn't they spend everything, like all their Lackey generators, except for maybe one totem and the other rat?
Yes, I believe that is correct.
Okay. That's,
All right.
That's okay.
Lodi comes down to be able to potentially poison this Lucenbark if they can find any other source of face damage. Their Zephyrus isn't online anymore, or still isn't online yet.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of action there.
Mhm.
If Zephyrus isn't online, that means Elise is not online either.
I
So
think you just hit an Oasis your face, Lottie on the 4/8, and either trade or go face again. Maybe you just go face.
yeah, do you ever hit an Oasis and then just Lottie without doing anything and just hold it for the spell power?
I doubt it.
No.
You really want to kill the Shaman because you're probably dead in 1 or 2 turns.
Yeah. It's amazing. Neither hero has any health left. They're both just, this is like 6th
Well,
round.
one of them has 16, right? Not 10.
Oh,
The 10
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's
infinite, because they also have 8 health represented in Lucenbark.
Oh, that's right. And just
And it's a
continually.
double life drinker that can just get in their hand right now.
Oh, we see the mutate come into hand. I don't think that necessarily changes this turn, which I would assume is going to be a hero power other life drinker. Or, I mean, I guess you could do. You have some others. No, surely you heal to 16, right? Surely you don't want to. You've seen Cape Town has made their intentions pretty clear at this point. They're not interested in trading into your board if they don't have to.
The problem for Berlin Lethal is how awkward it is to actually press the hero power with Life Drinker, given their hand, because they just have five drops.
Yeah.
It's not really good synergy.
No, it is definitely the way that their hand is lining up is really uncomfortable.
I think they're actually just playing the weaponized Wasp here and not do anything else. I think they're really valuing the bounds on these two life drinkers.
Yeah. They're actually going to mutate a life drinker and get a rusty recycler. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, that is.
It's very lucky.
All right. Cape Town.
Very lucky.
Very lucky. Cape Town needs some help.
They found it.
Yeah, Starfall definitely helps. And they can prevent this rusty recycler from getting its...
It clears the entire board. Actually.
So, yeah, they're going to go ahead and kill this Lucenbark again.
They're
actually
going to
gonna
kill
just
the
prevent
entire
the rest
board
of-
and send 11 to the face plus 1 from swipe, leaving Berlin with 4.
Wow.
Now they don't have healing. They don't have the life drinkers anymore to enable this Lucenbark. So we're going to have to see Shadow Walk top decked here.
That's not a
To
Shudderwalk.
enable
I'm not a
this.
doctor, but that's not a Shudderwalk.
I'm not a doctor either.
I
It's
guess
okay.
this is hero power cable rat time. Is it time to start going for some?
I think you have to. You have to do that.
Time to start looking for some silly
If
stuff.
you get double Cobalt Lecky, you do 8 damage plus 6 damage. That's still not enough.
You can ethereal lackey into.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do double Battlecry, play the
Yeah.
rat, and then maybe barista it and the lackeys. We're good with that.
Yeah.
They're not gonna lethal this turn for sure.
No. So what do you? Let's see. What? Okay. So we have Rush Lackey. And
Wrong
Rush
lackey. Time to
Okay.
bounce.
Yeah. These are.
They're not
allowed.
gonna play these lackey as well. They're just gonna bounce it.
Oh, they're actually gonna go ahead and clear the 6/6 with the weaponized Wasp.
They're gonna clear everything.
Oh, they're gonna clear everything. Actually, yeah, that does work out.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Crazy
Okay.
line.
Wow. Berlin hangs in with only 4 life left and no life drinkers remaining. Wrath.
Wait, is that enabled now?
Oh, that was the second. Yeah, that was the last duplicate.
Okay,
Fireball
that's
will do it.
enabled.
Wow.
I would have gone for the Avenging Wrath just to show dominance.
Oh, of course, definitely flex on him with the.
Always
with the
lethal.
Cape
Wow.
Town's Druid just walking through Berlin's entire lineup. And
Yeah.
this isn't even the first time we've seen Quest Druid do it. This isn't even the first time we've seen Quest Druid do it on stream.
And that's why we talked about Druid, Cape Town's Druid being banned, right? It didn't
Yeah.
get banned, but we talked about the probability of it being banned.
Yeah, that's right. At the very top of the show, when we were talking about, before the bans had come in, we were talking about what potentially gets banned. And Druid was in that conversation, for sure.
Deck is nuts.
And
the
it's,
deck is probably the best deck for tournaments. Like we've seen the lineup from Berlin that's actually meant to counter the Druid, and they still haven't managed to take a single win against it.
Yeah, that was, and I really thought in that Quest Shaman game, with the Lucent Bark, all of the life drinkers, but it's like you were saying a couple
I
of
thought they got
turns.
too greedy.
Yeah, a couple turns before the end, that hero power and just a hand full of 4 and 5 cost minions just doesn't work
Yep.
from a mana standpoint with that hero power.
Imagine playing the former champ, such a good card in the matchup, and not being able to play that for the
Yeah.
entire game. They've had that since the beginning, right?
Just
They
rotting in their
couldn't
hand.
the turn. I think that the turn where they opted for going for the 2 rushers and the Death Rattle Evolve spell, that
Oh yeah,
I would never remember the name of that spell. Nobody's playing
Big
that
Bad
ever.
Voodoo. Oh yeah,
Big Bad Voodoo.
so
Like
bad.
exactly. The turn they played that was so bad. That was the worst. That was the worst. That wasn't the worst turn, right? But it probably was the wrong play. They should have played the former champs there and the 2 rushers, and forego that evolve.
And we didn't even get to see so much of Cape Town's lineup is also spicy with the playing Quest Paladin and then aggro warrior. They didn't even need to come off the bench. They just got to watch as Quest Druid carried them to victory.
Yeah.
Speaking of being carried to victory, let me just go ahead and do a quick shout out to Matcherino. Grassroots tournaments like this, Matcherino is a fantastic partner because they allow us to put together prize pools, and they can help people generate additional prize pools. If you would like to contribute to the prize pool, ! Donate. If you want to know about the teams, ! Teams. But Matcherino allows you to donate to the prize pool for tournaments just like this by doing sponsorship quests. Follow stuff on Twitter, retweet stuff, check out a website, and that basically donates money for free to grassroots tournaments just like this one.
And if you want to get to one of these tournaments as a player, GameStop is offering coaching services. So if you want to be a pro player or participate in one of those crowd-funded tournaments by Matcherino, then GameStop is the place for you. For most games, I think Hearthstone is still not in their roster, but it's probably coming, right?
I would assume, and you can definitely, if you need packs, you can definitely go to GameStop and get you some iTunes credit or some Blizzard credit or whatever your credit of choice is.
Better
as
than
well.
money.
Oh yeah, however you'd like to turn your money into packs, GameStop can help you. Also consider their rewards program. I think it's $16 and you get you gain points, you get percentage off pre-owned games and accessories, you get extra trade-in credits on your games, accessories, and technology, and other sales and special events. And also, if you would like to turn yourself into a special event, consider going to 24 Hour Fitness. because right now, because when people see you, they stop. It's an event because you're in shape. Unlike me, when people see me, they're just like, oh, there's a dude. He's
That selling point is so weird. I would imagine that you're so out of shape from playing in tournaments that you gotta go somewhere to get back in shape.
Oh, for sure. It's an event. Well, you know, it's I don't know if you guys are familiar with the just quintessential piece of United States popular culture that is the Jersey Shore. But there's a guy who calls himself The Situation, and every time he walks into a room, he points at his abs.
Beautiful.
He's pretty one-dimensional. So if you'd like to be able to do that, obviously you can't use The Situation. That's probably trademarked. But 24-hour fitness is more than just vanity. It's an actual way to get healthy, right? Stay in shape. And they're open 24 hours a day, over 400 locations.
Guys, let's face it. We're playing computer games. We're out of shape. That place helps us get into shape. Come on. I'm competing in Hearthstone. I feel unhealthy.
Yeah. And you can play Hearthstone.
24-hour fitness.
Yeah, 24-hour fitness. You know, if you hit the treadmill, bring Hearthstone. Play Hearthstone on a treadmill. Play it on a recumbent bike. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Fall off the treadmill. You're looking at Hearthstone. Come on. Why not?
That's maybe okay. So maybe the recumbent bike. Maybe one of the ones where you're sitting down. All right. Well, that's gonna
play aggro.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's Cape Town over Berlin in a 3-0 sweep with their Quest Druid. What are your final thoughts there, Falular?
I was very impressed with Cape Town and Berlin. I thought both teams knew how to build their decks very appropriately in terms of the decks they were expecting to meet. Obviously, Berlin's expectation was not met, and Cape Town turned out on top in terms of lineup. But in theory, both teams came very well prepared. In practice, I think Cape Town just showed a little bit more bravery, I'd say, grit, maybe. They went for these plays that risked a lot because they realized their position, and they were rewarded for that twice. Against the Warrior, they were really impressive, and against the Shaman, they knew when to start going face. They knew when to be greedy. Very nice game outlook, I guess, from Cape Town.
Yeah,
So GG to both teams.
My favorite Falular line from that one. I mean, I pointed it out at the time, but it remains. Cape Town has analyzed the situation and realized they are screwed. It is time to turn on the gas, go face, and just see if they can beat this Shaman to death before Shaman's able to get their footing again.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They did it.
And it worked. Yeah. They had that grit. They had that resilience like you were talking about. So coming up, this is obviously not the end of even this week. This brings us to the end of today, but definitely come back on Thursday. We're going to be having the Madrid Mages are going to be battling out against, sorry, one more time. The Vienna Legendaries. I believe that will be one of the series. And then the second series will be the Helsinki Masterminds against the Lisbon Lycanthropes. So those two series waiting for us on day 3 of this week too. I'm excited to see it.
Big-ass name ever. Lycanthropes.
Yeah, the Lycanthropes. Wow. Hey, that alliteration sells books. The Lisbon Lycanthropes. You gotta.
Yeah, that's a great name, right? Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. Gosh, I want to say a lycanthrope is a werewolf.
Yeah, it is. Lichen. Where was that name popularized? Lichens.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't tell me it's Twilight.
Yeah.
We're somewhere. Let's not say Twilight.
Heart. And so with that, that's going to bring it to a conclusion for us. A big thank you to all the teams who played today. Earlier in the day, of course, we had Paris versus Stockholm. The series we just saw, Cape Town versus Berlin. Thank you so much, Falular, for jumping in and casting with me. And a big thank you to Bemi.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, Bemi. Thanks, Dollar Bills. And yep, I had a great time casting today.
Yeah, let's do it again sometime. And Everyone, I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday, and we will see y'all next time.
See you guys.